Yo, what's good? What's going on with you? It's your girl Simba, and I'm back with another reaction, okay? We are watching SpongeBob Conspiracy Number 1, the Squilliam Theory. So, let's get into it. Let's check this out. Let's see what's going on. I like some good conspiracy theories, you know what I'm saying? So, let's check this out, chat.
Squilliam Fancy Son. Squilliam Fancy Son. Squilliam Fancy Son.
Squilliam Fancy Son III is Squidward's rival from high school band class.
So, I just took my private yacht across my private lake to my private heliport.
He's more wealthy, popular, and talented than Squidward, and he always rubs it in his face.
That's right. I'm living your dreams, Squidward. Oh, just succeeding in everything you failed in.
But I intend to prove that he's a fraud, using his wealth to make himself seem more popular and talented than he actually is. He goes to ridiculously extreme and expensive lengths to humiliate Squidward and show his superiority, and I'm gonna prove it.
Okay.
SpongeBob is one of my favorite shows from my childhood. Even going back now and rewatching the old ones, it still holds up. You might think, it's just a kid's show, there's no continuity, there's nothing worth theorizing about, but the show constantly brings back characters and references to previous episodes, and if you look closely, you can connect the dots and find some very interesting stories. And today, I'm going to prove that Squilliam is a manipulative fraud. Evidence number 1, the pet hospital. We first meet Squilliam in Season 2, Episode 15, Band Geeks. The episode opens with Squidward playing the clarinet and getting a knock on the door.
Yeah, we're with the pet hospital down the street, and I understand you have a dying animal on the premises.
Immediately after, Squidward gets a call from Squilliam.
Hello, you've reached the house of unrecognized talent. Please start after the...
Sounds as though you've got a dying animal to attend to, eh, old chum?
I believe that not only was Squilliam spying on Squidward to know when he was playing his clarinet, but he also hired the doctor to come and embarrass Squidward.
Yeah, we're with the pet hospital down
yeah,
the street.
facts. How would he know?
Hospital down the street.
We have never seen a pet hospital in Bikini Bottom. We've only ever seen just the regular Bikini Bottom hospital. We've seen this purple doctorfish before, but once again, he's never worked at a pet hospital. We've only ever seen him at the regular general hospital.
Well, Mr. Squarepants, it seems you have the suds. Are you ready for your treatment?
Then there's this green fish behind him, and we've only ever seen him as one of the many identical paramedics that work at the Bikini Bottom Hospital. We even see him at the end of the episode to take Squilliam away after fainting. So it is very likely that Squilliam hired these two and told them to pretend like they're from a pet hospital just to humiliate Squidward. But this is just the start of Squilliam's elaborate lies.
Okay.
Evidence number 2, the Bubble Bowl.
What does this have to do with the story? Oh, yeah. That's...
Squilliam also says,
I'm the leader of a big fancy
the doctor
band
was your
now,
crush.
and we're supposed to play the Bubble Bowl next week. The problem is, I'm busy next week and can't make it, so I was hoping you and your band could cover for...
Wait. That don't make sense. He said he was busy. Okay, I'm picking up what he's putting down. He said he was busy next week and can't make it. How you busy next week and can't make it, but you literally watched the Bubble Bowl? You know what I mean?
For us.
But we've never seen Squilliam's band before, and despite claiming he's too busy to make it to the Bubble Bowl, he still shows up at the end to watch Squidward's band. So both his excuse and probably his band were made up to pressure Squidward into humiliating himself at the Bubble Bowl. Evidence number 3, Squilliam's friends. In Season 3, Episode 8, Squilliam returns. Squidward leaves for work and conveniently bumps into Squilliam and all of his fancy friends, despite Squilliam not seeming like the kind of guy that would come near the Krusty Krab. He and his friends make fun of Squidward for working as a cashier.
Hold it! Don't tell me! You're a cashier!
Don't lie. Lying always makes it worse.
But I believe that this encounter was planned out by Squilliam in advance, and he hired all of those people to pretend to be his friends. Take a look at Squilliam's friends. They're all nicely dressed. You kind of get the sense that they're fancy, high-status members of Bikini Bottom. But they aren't. This is more like what the fancy rich people in Bikini Bottom look like.
These
are just some regular Bikini Bottom citizens. Most of them usually don't even wear nice clothes like this. And most of them are regulars at the Krusty Krab and would already know Squidward as the cashier.
Yo, that's...
These are not...
Yo, that's facts! Bro, that's facts. Yo, wait, bro, what? I never, bruh.
would already know Squidward as the cashier.
My daddy doesn't have enough slime!
These are not the type of people Squilliam would hang out with. I mean, why would Squilliam be hanging out with one of Pearl's teenage friends? At the end of the episode, Squilliam even admits to his whole life being fake.
I made everything up about my life. I have no yachts, jets, or anything. I was only trying to impress you.
And then, of course, he quickly says he's just kidding.
Is that true?
Of course not! I'm filthy stinking rich!
But was he kidding? I mean, obviously he's rich, but is there a nugget of truth in there? Evidence number 4, the statue. In Season 7, Episode 6, Squidward has to pick up trash for community service, and Squilliam once again conveniently bumps into him and reveals he's cleaned up so much trash that the city actually built a statue of him.
Maybe if you clean up Bikini Bottom, they'll build a statue of you. Oh, wait! They've already built one. Of me! I cleaned up all of Bikini Bottom in only 1 week.
I believe that once again, this encounter was staged by Squilliam, and he actually paid to get that statue built. As Squilliam tells Squidward about the statue, a female fish admires it and says,
Bless you, Squilliam Fancyson. Bless you.
but if you remember, this is one of those friends Squilliam likes.
Oh my gosh,
whole
she
comment feel
is!
very fake.
Bro, listen, bro, this shit kind of blowing my mind, chat. I ain't even gonna hold you, chat. This shit kind of blowing my mind, bro. Like, what? Why all of this makes sense? Am I gullible? Bruh. Success, Squilliam a bitch.
By the end of the episode, Squilliam's statue gets destroyed. A police officer approaches and they have this exchange.
This is your statue?
It was.
Squilliam admits that it's his statue, not the city's. And why else would the officer give him specifically a ticket if it was city property? Evidence number 5, the concert. In Season 6, Episode 17, Squidward watches Squilliam play the clarinet at a big fancy concert. He receives a standing ovation, causing Squidward to leave angrily. But I believe this entire concert is a scam. Not only has the audience been paid to cheer, but Squilliam never even touches his instrument. Once again, many of the audience members were part of Squilliam's quote-unquote friends, but we also never actually see Squilliam play the clarinet. The episode opens right after he's finished his performance with the audience cheering, and one member of the audience says,
He's such a great musician. He doesn't even have to touch an instrument to be brilliant.
Maybe the real reason Squidward leaves so
Yo!
angrily is because the audience cheered for Squilliam even though he never even touched his clarinet. Maybe Squilliam is just as bad as Squidward at the clarinet and he's trying to hide it. Squilliam has gone to some pretty extreme lengths just to humiliate Squidward, but nothing, and I mean nothing, compares to what he does next. Evidence number 6. The Music College. In the same episode, after Squidward leaves the concert, he's approached by the headmistress of the Bikini Bottom prestigious music college.
Aren't you the esteemed Squilliam Fancyson III, who we all came here to see perform tonight?
She mistakes him for Squilliam and offers him a position as a professor. Squidward pretends to be Squilliam.
You said, so Squilliam life revolves around making Squidward's life bad? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, yeah.
And teaches a class only for the police to burst in and arrest him, all while he's being filmed on live TV. And I believe that this is Squilliam's most elaborate and most expensive scheme to destroy Squidward both publicly and legally. This encounter where Squidward gets offered a job is already suspiciously convenient, but listen closely to their exchange.
I'm Squilliam Fancyson.
But didn't you just say a minute ago that your name was Squidward Q Tentacles?
It is. No, I mean, no, I didn't.
Well, that's a relief. I mean, what kind of a moron would go to their worst enemy's music recital?
What kind of moron would go to their own enemy's music recital? How does she know that Squidward and Squilliam are enemies? If
Facts.
she knew who Squidward
Hey!
was, then why didn't she recognize him? Why would she...
Nah, now I'm really thinking, like, how'd she know that? Because you would have recognized Squilliam if you knew they had beef. Bruh.
mistake him for Squilliam? This feels way too much like she was hired by Squilliam to set a trap for Squidward. And if that's not enough, the headmistress's associate is literally just a guy from the paid audience wearing a disguise. He just threw on some glasses to seem smart. Squilliam knew that Squidward couldn't resist the opportunity to teach a music class, even if it meant breaking the law.
My very own music class.
Then we get to the Bikini Bottom prestigious music college, and right off the bat, there's something very fishy about this place. The building itself is very green and grimy and has a very cheap metal look. Nothing about this says prestigious except for the big sign on top, which feels like the only new thing about this building. I think there is a very good chance that Squilliam just bought some old warehouse, then stuck a sign and some paint on it to disguise it as a college. I mean, look at these other schools in Bikini Bottom. They all have a very nice structure and a paint job, but this prestigious music college looks like a dumpster. Going into the classroom, not only does it have another one of Squilliam's friends, but if this is such a prestigious college, how did SpongeBob and Patrick get in here?
Yo, this shit different. I ain't even gonna hold you. This shit different.
You two numbskulls mind telling me what you're doing in music class anyway?
Sure. Patrick's New Year's resolution was to learn to play an instrument.
They say it was their New Year's resolution to take a music class, but you'd think it'd be harder for them to get into an esteemed music school if they just decided to go to it on a whim. Seems like they're just letting in anyone to sell this ruse. Then, both the police, Squilliam and the headmistress, and a live news broadcast show up at the same time to arrest Squidward for impersonating Squilliam. If the extremely coincidental fact that all of these people suddenly showed up at the same time isn't enough for you to believe that Squilliam set it all up, I've got something that's going to blow your mind. Squilliam literally has the police working for him.
Squidward chewed tentacles, I'm placing you under arrest for impersonating a genius.
If that doesn't sound like he's been paid off, I don't know what does. The lengths that Squilliam goes to humiliate Squidward are
this
insane.
Nigga is
He
crazy.
literally builds statues and entire buildings just to make Squidward feel inferior. But why? Why would anyone go so far to embarrass an old high school band classmate? What happened between them? What could have caused this extreme level of dedication? Well, unfortunately, we never really get much information on their past. I've spent hours reading through the SpongeBob Wikipedia and looking at old episodes, and there really just isn't any clues that would explain their weird relationship. I guess we can't solve everything, but either way, that's my theory. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Wait a second. Season 6, Episode 5, Slide Whistle Stooges. Just a normal episode where SpongeBob and Patrick annoy Squidward. Nothing really out of the ordinary. Except I have one question about this episode. Why does Squidward have Squilliam's robe? That is clearly not the purple robe he usually wears. That is Squilliam Fancyson III's robe. Why would Squidward have this? Unless they were more than just classmates. Could they have once been dating? No way. That's not possible. There's no evidence to support that. Right?
Don't be intimidated, Squidward. Try to imagine him in his underwear. Oh no, he's hot!
No. It can't be.
I mean, what kind of a moron would go to their worst enemy's music recital?
It's been right in front of us this whole time.
Our sources last saw Evil harassing teenagers up at Makeout Reef.
Makeout Reef. Good time. Good time.
Voted most likely to suck eggs in high school.
Holy shit!
Bruh, you said your childhood? Bro, me! My childhood! What the hell? Tube, what's good? What's going on? Which is your girl Simba. And it's reaction time, okay? We are back. Me and the Switch Babies are back with another reaction. We finna watch some more conspiracy stuff. Yes, we are. We finna check it out. This is the second episode. Let's get into it.
The show SpongeBob SquarePants is not what you think it is. There is a secret group of puppet masters who are always watching the citizens of Bikini Bottom and pulling the strings. Hidden within Bikini Bottom are spies that keep an eye on the characters and make sure everything goes to plan. This is a conspiracy that will fundamentally change the way you look at the show SpongeBob SquarePants, and I believe it's all actually intended by the creators, and I'm gonna prove it. This is the television theory.
Huh, okay. What's going on? What's the theory?
You guys had a great reaction to my Squilliam Fancyson theory, and I had a lot of fun making it.
Squilliam, you lying, deceiving bastard! I didn't even realize that!
But trust me when I say that what I've discovered this time is much much bigger. To start this theory, we have to go back to the very beginning of the very first episode of SpongeBob SquarePants.
Okay.
Ah, the sea. So fascinating. So wonderful. Here we see Bikini Bottom, teeming with life. Home of one of my favorite creatures, SpongeBob SquarePants. Yes, of course he lives in a pineapple, you silly.
So let me ask you a question. Who's speaking in this clip? Well, obviously that's just the narrator. We hear his voice many times throughout the show.
Facts.
Goo Lagoon. A stinky mud puddle for you and me.
Puddle. Why is he French?
The crusty crab.
I never realized he was French until just now.
Past all the many kinds of undersea life. Hoff's boating school, where diligent students learn the rules of the road.
But
what's good, Majin?
The narrator. Well, he's just the narrator, right? We're not supposed to think about who he is or why we're hearing him. Lots of shows have narrator framing devices we're not supposed to think about.
Caillou was amazed that Mommy had made a rainbow, just like in the picture.
But there's something different about this narrator. He sounds a lot like he's narrating a nature documentary.
Facts.
The ocean. From above, a simple blanket of water. But below, a complex world full of color, life, and wonder.
Ah, the sea. So fascinating. So wonderful.
Caillou? Damn, T. Caillou a bitch. What the hell he do to you? Damn. Damn, T. What the hell? That shit came out of Caillou a bitch. Spoiled bitch. Yo. Okay. You alright? You want to talk about it? Shit.
Here we see Bikini Bottom, teeming with life.
What if I told you that he's not just some random disembodied voice? He's an actual character in this universe.
Here we are again at the Bikini Bottom boating school. Today is once again the day of SpongeBob's boating school exam. But more importantly, this is the last test for the year. And if SpongeBob does not pass this one, it means another whole year of boating school!
SpongeBob literally crashes into the fourth wall, and we actually get to see the narrator and the camera he's been filming with.
Yeah, I remember this episode.
SpongeBob SquarePants is not just a cartoon. Everything we see is a part of...
So is it like a reality TV show? It's probably like a reality... Okay.
...of a nature documentary television show being filmed by scuba divers. And if you're still not convinced, I searched really, really hard and found an old SpongeBob DVD bonus feature that basically confirms everything.
Since before time even existed, land-loving scientists have tried to learn the secrets of intelligence. Their studies led them to the sea, where the citizens of one undersea colony demonstrated a genius so enormous, the scientists felt compelled to record their actions for use in teaching mankind how to live better. The name of this miraculous place? Bikini Bottom. Poring over the mass of brainy masterminds scattered about this strange land, the scientists chose 6 Bikini Bottom residents at random to study. As the scientists marveled at the advanced knowledge and superior intellect of these 6 creatures,
I went to college!
They rolled their cameras and took notes.
Holy shit. Holy shit, that might actually... Holy shit. It makes sense! Yo, this...
And now, finally, we can learn all of the things that these smarty pantsuses have to teach us. Life lessons from Bikini Bottom.
I don't know how it can get any more clear than that. Now, if you rewatch the show with this new information in mind, some things start to take on a whole new meaning. Throughout the series, there's this weird, unexplained running gag of a human hand interfering with the characters. It's even in the beginning of every episode in the intro for the show. Maybe the filmmakers are doing a bit more than just studying these characters. The hand seems to mostly interfere just to maintain the health and safety of the characters, like treating SpongeBob for the suds.
Well, Mr. SquarePants...
Yo! But this actually makes sense, though. Okay. Now, this actually makes sense, though. This is actually crazy.
Seems you have the suds. Are you ready for your treatment?
For your treatment?
Oh, Hans.
And they treat him like an actual sponge.
It makes sense that the filmmakers wouldn't want to risk the safety of their main character. After all, there's no show without SpongeBob, but that's not the only reason why they interfere. Season 3, Episode 16, I Had an Accident, is infamous for having one of the most absurd, confusing endings in the entire show. It ends with a real gorilla suddenly coming out of a Patrick costume and attacking the characters.
A real gorilla? Huh?
Then as soon as SpongeBob begins to question the logic of the scene, this happens.
What's a gorilla doing underwater in the first place?
Well, it's funny you should... see, George, they're onto us!
Let's get out of here.
I remember... Yo, wait. This was a W episode. That gorilla was literally terrorizing the whole town, bro. It was terrorizing the whole town. Yo, these really make you sit back and like think like, yo, am I bugging?
SpongeBob is a weird show, but this has always stuck out as being just a little too weird. But knowing what we know now, I think I can explain what's going on here. This isn't a real gorilla. Every other land animal we've seen underwater wears a helmet and is drawn in a cartoony style.
Facts.
The gorilla is shown in a live-action style, and the only time we ever see live-action characters is when they're human. So,
Facts.
I believe both the gorilla and the horse he rides away on are humans wearing costumes. The
Okay.
filmmakers set this whole thing up just to make the episode more entertaining. It's starting to seem like this isn't strictly a nature documentary anymore. It's more of a reality TV show for entertainment. Who knows what other absurd elements of the show are actually put there by the filmmakers to make the show more entertaining and profitable. Although, based on the people's reaction, it doesn't always seem to pay off. But how far will the filmmakers go to make the show more profitable?
Saturday morning in Bikini Bottom. SpongeBob is watching his favorite
You never watched
Saturday
SpongeBob?
morning
You wasn't
show,
allowed to?
The
What?
Adventures of Mermaid Man and Barnacle
Barnacle
Boy.
Boy.
Enjoying a bowl of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy bland cereal. And wearing the official Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy Blackfist Biters.
If we think of this as a television show, this sounds an awful lot like a product placement. I mean, listen to how the narrator specifically says the full names of the products.
The Adventures of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy bland cereal. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy Blackfist Biters.
Why don't you let me fix you some of this new Mococo drink? All natural cocoa beans from the upper slopes of Mountain Nicaragua, no artificial sweeteners.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
Maybe the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy TV show is actually from the surface world. They are human after all. It makes sense that the filmmakers would choose to highlight these popular superhero characters. The more they show, the more they're gonna sell Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy merchandise. Hang on a second, why are Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy the same size as all the fish in Bikini Bottom, even though humans are always shown as massive compared to fish? Whatever, I'll come back to that one later.
Huh?
The show doesn't even just hide product placements. In the episode Model Sponge, they literally trick SpongeBob into making a commercial for a human product.
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. Director.
Very well. Loose the pants! Pants! There's my star!
What the hell?
What's happening? What's happening?
In this scene, you'll be cleaning
Wait.
bathroom fixtures.
Okay. So where's my cleaning utensil?
Don't you get it? You are the cleaning utensil. High speed!
Oh no, your bathroom is a disaster. Get it cleaned up fast with the new sponge. Household chores are a snap with new sponge. It cleans sinks. Just look at that shine.
This is just like in real life how SpongeBob is such a popular character that he's used to sell tons and tons of products.
Wait.
So far I've shown you
I remember
the
that
show
episode too.
SpongeBob SquarePants is actually a documentary television show, but the creators continually interfere to push their own agendas and make more money. But that brings us to an important question. Do the characters know they're in a television show? Let's go back to that clip where SpongeBob hits the cameraman.
It means another whole year of boarding school!
Huh.
What happened?
Oh, nothing, SpongeBob. You just struck another pedestrian.
Mrs. Puff calls him a pedestrian,
Hold
which
on.
sounds more like she thinks he's just some random Bikini Bottom citizen. The different types of marine life in SpongeBob are so diverse and weird looking that it's not too hard to believe that the characters just think these filmmakers are another weird type of fish. And back to the gorilla episode, the gorilla and the horse immediately get nervous and run away when SpongeBob questions what's going on.
Well, it's funny you should. I mean, see, George, they're onto us!
Let's get out of here.
Almost like the creators don't want the characters to be aware their lives are being interfered with. Now, there isn't a ton of footage of the characters interacting with the filmmakers, but I dug really, really deep and found the smoking gun that answers all of our questions.
Okay.
This is an old commercial from 2004 made to promote the SpongeBob movie.
SpongeBob, what kind of jellyfish is that?
It's not a jellyfish, Patrick. It's a spaceship.
Hey guys, it's Carlos
What the
from
hell?
Zone. I was wondering if you could answer a few questions.
Questions? Run for your lives!
No, Pat, don't you see?
What the
it wants
hell?
to learn about our world, and it's chosen us.
What? Yay! Oh, we've been chosen.
A submarine comes down to SpongeBob and Patrick to ask questions to promote the new movie. SpongeBob and Patrick
Ayo?
are clearly confused by this and think the submarine is some kind of alien. They also have no idea that they're the stars of a movie.
Well, thanks guys. We'll see you in the movie.
Bye.
Movie? What's that?
I don't know.
So I think it's pretty clear at this point that the characters are unaware their lives are being filmed and
I never
interfered
seen
with.
that
But
commercial.
there are some characters that have to have some level of awareness. For example, the Dr. Fish that told the human hand to treat SpongeBob, and the Director Fish that
Facts.
directed the commercial for the human world. What
Okay.
makes these characters so special? First off, the Director Fish isn't actually from Bikini Bottom. Before he directed this commercial, we saw him as a citizen of New Kelp City in the episode Whatever Happened to SpongeBob. Out of all the characters they could have used, they specifically chose a character from out of town. Almost like the filmmakers didn't want to use anyone in Bikini Bottom so they wouldn't risk everyone finding out about the television show. Then there's the Dr. Fish. We don't know where he originally came from, but he's an extremely suspicious character. Usually he's purple, but sometimes he's orange, sometimes he's purple with orange hands, sometimes he's a pirate, and he bears a striking resemblance to Dr. Manowar from the Jellyfish Convention.
And now it only hurts when you touch it.
Why does he have so many different disguises and identities? What is he hiding? I believe hidden throughout Bikini Bottom are spies like this who are aware they're in a television show and keep tabs on the main characters and make sure
Why he
everything
tongue
goes to
dipping
plan.
this-
There's so many
Wait,
suspicious
go back,
characters
bro.
in Bikini Bottom that it can
Why was that nigga tongue look at how he's tonguing his sandwich, my G.
and make sure
Look at how he's
spies
tonguing
like
his
this
sandwich.
who are aware they're in a television show and keep tabs on the main
Why is he
characters
tonguing
and
his
make sure
sandwich
everything
like
goes
that?
to plan. There's so many suspicious characters in Bikini Bottom that it could literally be anyone. The mailman, the hot dog vendor, Old Man Jenkins, it could literally be anyone. But what if I told you that the biggest spy of all isn't some random side character? It's one of the main characters of the show.
Is it
Someone
Gary?
who's been there from the very beginning. Someone who's not even
Is it
from Bikini
Gary?
Bottom. Someone who's not even from the ocean. That's right.
Sandy?
Sandy Cheeks.
What?
Sandy
How?
Cheeks is the thrill-seeking scientific squirrel from Texas who lives underwater in her tree dome. But why did she come to Bikini Bottom? In the episode Chimps Ahoy, we find out she was hired by a group of chimpanzees to come underwater and create inventions. But why does she need to be underwater to make inventions? She could have just as easily have made any of her inventions on land. It must be extremely expensive to maintain a giant dome of air underwater. There is
Facts.
no way the only reason she's here is to make random inventions. I think this
Wait.
whole episode is an elaborate ruse to throw off the other characters from the real reason Sandy is in Bikini Bottom. To spy on the main characters and make sure the show stays on track. Many of the times the characters are in danger, Sandy conveniently steps in to save the day, and many of the wacky, entertaining episode plots are driven by an invention Sandy creates. Everything she does is a calculated move to carry out the hidden agenda of the filmmakers. Her entire friendship with SpongeBob and the other characters is built on a lie. But you're probably saying, Sandy is a sweet, friendly squirrel. There's no way she's behind this.
Facts.
You're not convinced yet? That's okay. Because what I'm about to show you is so mind-blowing, so insanely revealing, that it's actually the whole reason I decided
Wait.
to make this video. Get ready for the big one. Season 10, Episode 10, Feral Friends, is the episode that unlocks this entire mystery. During a birthday party, a green moon suddenly appears and turns everyone except Sandy into less evolved, real-life versions of themselves. Sandy is completely caught off guard by this and decides to call someone for help.
What the
hell? Take a guess who she calls.
Yo!
Hello, French narrator speaking.
Hey, Frenchie! It's me, Sandy!
Ah, Sandy Cheeks.
I never saw this episode.
Oh, it's not hanging too good, Frenchie. You see, there's this...
Don't say another word. I have been monitoring the behavior of the green moon all day.
Wait.
Huh. Yeah, I guess that's a pretty interesting clip, yeah. Holy shit! Sandy literally calls the narrator to let him know what's going on and asks for instructions on what to do next. She's been working with him the entire fucking time. He even has a picture of her on his desk.
Yo!
This is where I originally planned on ending the video, but there is still one small issue with the television theory. Just one nagging plot hole that contradicts everything. If this is all a television show filmed by scuba divers, then how are we seeing inside the buildings? It's not like any of the humans filming the show could fit inside them. It's the one annoying thing that keeps this theory from being complete. I mean, the most logical explanation is that they have hidden cameras inside of everyone's homes, but we never really see anything like that. Holy shit.
Wait.
Season 6, Episode 24, Truth or Square. The SpongeBob 10th Anniversary Special where they reveal lots of stuff about the characters. But the most damning piece of evidence comes from when the characters get lost in the Krusty Krab vents and end up in a room full of monitors showing live footage of all of their homes.
Oh! My house is on TV!
All of our houses are on TV.
Wait, bro.
Gary the Snail, you get down from that bed this instant.
Oh, I do remember this video.
My house.
Look, it's Sandy.
And who is the character responsible for all of these hidden cameras?
Mr. Krabs, why do you have cameras watching us?
Oh, well, I just want to make sure you all floss after every meal.
Thank you, Mr. Krabs. Dental hygiene is very, very important.
Is he working with them too?
Eugene, you lying bastard. Of course he would sell out his friends for a quick buck.
Facts.
And if there's any part of you that thinks there's some chance Mr. Krabs has all these hidden cameras for some other reason, then take a look at what happens next.
Hey, who are those guys?
I think it's us, Patrick. But who are they?
Alright, they're not even trying to hide it anymore. A cameraman and a boom operator have been following around the characters this entire time. And just like the gorilla, as soon as they get seen, they make a run for it. The case is closed.
Yo, 4K!
The television theory is something the show has consistently alluded to from the very first episode to the newest episodes. Maybe one day the show will actually directly address it and our characters will discover the real truth about their world. But regardless, that's my theory. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments.
4K.
Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more. See you next time. Hey, whoa, hang on a second. You thought I forgot about the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy thing, didn't ya? Alright, here's a quick bonus theory. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy were two superheroes that fought crime underwater and protected the sea from evil. Whether or not they actually did this or was all staged for television isn't clear, but they both spent their lives underwater until they became old and retired. But after spending so much time under the sea, they no longer fit in with human society. Plus, Mermaid Man is clearly dealing with some form of dementia and PTSD from fighting evil.
But you can't retire. There's evil afoot.
What? Evil?
So, they decided to live the rest of their lives in Bikini Bottom. And in order to fit in better with their fellow sea creatures, they made the permanent decision to shrink themselves using Mermaid Man's shrinking belt.
Nigga. No shot. Bro. That makes sense.
The case is closed. Again.
Damn. We gotta watch this. We gonna watch this one in probably like a couple days. But sheesh. That last one really like put the icing on the cake, bro. That really shit really made sense, bro. WVid. Alright, yo. So, y'all make sure y'all say bye to YouTube. We gonna chat it with them. Listen, that was a W freaking theory. I ain't even gonna hold you. That was a W theory, okay? Oh, What's good? What's going on? Which is your girl Simba, and it's time for another reaction, okay? And today we are checking out some more conspiracy theories. Let's check it out.
This is not Mrs. Puff. You may think she's just SpongeBob's boating teacher, but you'd be very, very wrong. For years, she's been running from her dark and mysterious past, but it's finally caught up to her. And behind it all is a mastermind who's been secretly controlling her life and psychologically torturing her. If you guys thought my last two theories were mind-blowing, get ready for my biggest conspiracy yet. This is the Mrs. Puff theory.
Okay.
I gotta start off by saying, wow, the reaction to my last two SpongeBob theories has been insane.
How does she know? How does she know?
Squilliam, you lying, deceiving, who is that handsome young devil?
I'm glad you guys are enjoying my ridiculously deep dives into the show. I mean, I have to watch so much SpongeBob and read so much of the Wikipedia to put these theories together, but it's worth it because the writers actually take the time to set these things up. Now, a lot of people have been asking, Alex, how do you come up with these crazy conspiracy theories? Well, I always start these theories by looking for the moments in the show that seem to be implying more than they're letting on. Like I've said before, SpongeBob is a weird show with lots of abstract humor, but I can usually understand the intent the writers had behind a weird joke. But then there's stuff like this.
I hope I still remember how to do this.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
And it's so confusing and weird that it feels like the writers are trying to imply something beyond just weirdness for the sake of comedy. And nowhere in the show is there more of these moments than with Mrs. Puff. And once I started looking into it, it led me down the deepest rabbit hole I've ever seen from this show. So, let's begin.
Alright, let's get into it.
Looks like I'm getting hacked by a hacker. I knew this would happen if I got too close to the truth. Well, it's a good thing this video is sponsored by NordVPN. If you're watching this video, then you're on the internet, which means at any moment you could be hacked by a cyber criminal. All of your privacy, all of your personal information, the hackers can get it all.
Alright, I'm gonna skip a little bit, you know what I'm saying? W-ad though. He slid that in there.
Mrs. Puff is a boarding school teacher in Bikini Bottom. She's passed all of her students.
Nah, it's a
except
VPN
for
your laptop.
SquarePants. He's taken her driver's test hundreds of times, and he always ends up failing it and causing destruction and chaos that usually ends up with Mrs. Puff going to jail, despite it not really being her fault. We also know that she was once married, but her husband was killed by fishermen.
That's my driving teacher, Mrs. Puff.
Mrs. Puff? Oh, she's married.
Oh no, Mr. Krabs, she's single.
Then what happened to Mr. Puff?
Damn.
She doesn't like to talk about it.
Throughout the show, there are moments like this that seem to be hinting at her having a dark, mysterious past. And in Season 2, Episode 10, No Free Rides, we get the biggest clue about who Mrs. Puff really is. After SpongeBob fails the driving test yet again, Mrs. Puff has just had it with him and ends up just giving up and giving him his license even though he never really passed. She quickly realizes that this is a horrible idea and he'll probably end up destroying the entire town.
God
so
damn.
Much destruction. This reporter asks, why? Local consensus places the blame on this negligent, selfish driving instructor who...
Damn!
This clip, because it's going to be very important later on. And then she says this insanely revealing line.
What have I done? Everyone will know that I let him slide through school. I'll have to move to a new city, start a new boating school with a new name. No, not again.
Wait.
No, not again. Come on, it's like you're just begging someone to make a theory about this.
Facts.
So we now know Mrs. Puff was originally from a different town, she used to own a different boating school, and Mrs. Puff isn't even her real name. There's something in her past that she ran away from. Now, there's been some debate over whether she's actually referring to a new name for herself or for her boating school, but I do think she's talking about her own name, because if she's trying to run away from something in her past, she wouldn't start a new boating school with her real name in the title.
Exactly.
Now, when she says again, I don't think she's just referring to starting a new life.
Everyone will know that I let him slide through school. Not again.
I think at her previous boating school, she had a terrible student just like SpongeBob who she prematurely gave a license to, and it led to something so terrible happening that she had to run away and start a whole new life. In Season 3, Episode 5, Doing Time, we get a flashback to when she first opened up the school.
The opening of my new boating school, I pledge that as long as a student is willing to learn, I shall never give up.
Hi,
I'm SpongeBob SquarePants.
With the opening of this new boating school, let's keep in mind that this is not her first boating school. Maybe the whole reason she's making this pledge now at her second school is because she gave up on a student at her previous school, and that led to her having to run away and start a new life. She's pledging to never make the same mistake again. Now let's skip ahead to one of the newer episodes. Season 12, episode 21, Lighthouse Louie, where Mrs. Puff has SpongeBob organize all the stuff she keeps in the school's lighthouse.
Oh, I've never seen this one.
Things hidden in the background, but the first thing that caught my eye was this file labeled Mrs.
Wait. Oh, wait, Mr. Krabs. Okay.
Puff. It makes sense for a teacher to have files on all their students, but why would she have a file about herself? But let's remember, she's not Mrs. Puff. That's a fake identity she created. And I'm willing to bet all of her fake identification documents are in this file. Back in No Free Rides, she just gives SpongeBob a license that she already had for him. So she clearly makes these licenses and would probably know how to make fake identifications. But that's not the only hint about Mrs. Puff's past in this lighthouse. There is something in here that directly confirms all of this. As SpongeBob swallows all of Mrs. Puff's junk, we see something very interesting for only a few frames. Deranged boat teacher makes getaway. 10 seasons later, and the creators are still hiding stuff about.
What? Wait, no, shut, bro. I never seen that episode, but what? The big fat meanie, bro.
Puff's junk. We see something very interesting for only a few frames. Deranged.
Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. But deranged distracts authorities with balloon animals, bro. What the fuck? Wait, bro. Wait, bro. Holy shit.
Deranged boat teacher.
New Kelp post, October 21st. Yo, that's crazy.
Makes getaway. 10 seasons later, and the creators are still hiding stuff about Mrs. Puff fleeing her old life. It might not look like it at first, but we actually get a ton of new information from this newspaper. This is from the New Kelp Post, which tells us Mrs. Puff originally lived in New Kelp City. Then there's a caption that reads, distracts authorities with balloon animals. And do you remember that clip from the beginning?
I hope I still remember how to do this.
Yeah. So whenever Mrs. Puff makes a getaway or commits a crime, she leaves behind a balloon animal to distract the police. I'm telling you guys, these writers don't just do stuff randomly. They have reasons for everything.
This is crazy.
And the most damning piece of evidence from this newspaper is actually the picture of Mrs. Puff. Kind of a strange photo, right? We have seen this exact same photo of her before. In the episode No Free Rides, when she imagines what would happen if SpongeBob got his license.
Local consensus places the blame on this negligent, selfish...
Yo, it's the same one! Yo, what?
Driving instructor.
This means that this isn't just her imagination of what might happen. This is also her remembering what happened when she lived in New Kelp City and prematurely gave one of her students a license.
What?
And I'm willing to bet that the fish reporting the news is the exact same one who reported about her in New Kelp City. Let me explain. We know from the episode Whatever Happened to SpongeBob that reporters from the Bikini Bottom News can also work for the New Kelp City News. But the real reason I think this is because of his hair. In the entire show, we have never seen this fish reporter with hair before. Why would the creators go out of their way to add that detail? Because Mrs. Puff isn't imagining him as he looks now. She's remembering him from years ago when he used to have hair, when he reported about her in New Kelp City.
Yo, what? Yo, wait. Wait, that actually makes sense. Yo, wait. Yo, wait. That, he has a, big brain. Big brain, bro. That makes, oh my God. Oh my God, that makes so much sense though, bro.
Miss Puff has been running from her past ever since, and is now forced to relive her experience with an unteachable student through SpongeBob. But reliving this trauma has pushed her to the point of complete insanity. And trust me when I say that you have no idea how delusional she actually is.
Bruh.
Another running gag throughout the series is Mrs. Puff's occasional nervous breakdowns or moments of insanity because of SpongeBob, and they get more severe as the show continues. At first she did care for SpongeBob, but in the newer episodes she literally tries to kill SpongeBob just to get him out of her life. Even SpongeBob just walking up to her gives her severe PTSD.
Hi, Mrs. Puff.
Hit the brakes! SpongeBob! Watch the tree! Laugh!
Wait, Mrs. Puff! We're not driving!
But these mostly seem like just one-off moments, and for the most part, Mrs. Puff is still a functioning member of society, right? I'm going to show you that she's actually much much more insane and delusional than you may think. And some of the episodes she's in take place entirely in her own head. If we're talking about how insane Mrs. Puff is, there is no better place to start than the episode Doing Time. Once again, SpongeBob fails the boating test and causes destruction and chaos, which leads to Mrs. Puff going to jail. SpongeBob keeps breaking into jail to try and bust her out, but Mrs. Puff actually prefers being in jail over teaching him. We actually get another interesting line about Mrs. Puff's past in this episode.
Okay, you can do this, Puff. You can get through this without losing your sanity. Oh, that's a road we don't want to go down again.
So we know that Mrs. Puff has lost her sanity in the past, probably from her previous terrible student. But it seems like she's recovered since then, except in this episode she has a complete mental breakdown. SpongeBob keeps appearing in impossible places until she gets thrown into solitary confinement, where each wall of the room transforms into a giant SpongeBob face. And then the episode ends in a way that's so weird and confusing that it rivals the infamous gorilla episode ending. As Mrs. Puff freaks out, she's suddenly transported back into the beginning of the episode when SpongeBob was taking the test. Except this time, SpongeBob gets arrested instead of her.
Help! Help! No! This is not a good time! No! I can't believe it! It was all a dream! I'm not going to jail!
Why would you go to jail? You already did your time.
What? What the hell? Oh yeah, it did do that.
Oh, forget it.
So what's really going on in this episode? Was the ending all in her head? Is Mrs. Puff just caught in an endless loop? I think this entire episode is inside of Mrs. Puff's head, and she's actually on the outside the whole time, but she's been imagining herself inside of prison. I can explain. Listen closely to what the police officer tells Mrs. Puff.
I'm not going to jail!
Why would you go to jail? You already did your time.
Why would you go to jail? You already did your time. And then revealing she's still in a prison uniform despite being on the outside. So this scene is obviously inside of her head, which means everything we see is symbolic. And if we can understand the symbolism of it, we can understand what's really going on with Mrs. Puff. Notice how she's suddenly wearing a black and white striped prison uniform, even though the entire episode she's been wearing this orange jumpsuit. Why would the creators go to the extra effort to draw a whole new prison uniform for her? Well, we've seen her wear this black and white prison uniform before, the very first time she went to prison back in Season 1, Episode 7, Hall Monitor. So when the police officer says, "You've already done your time," he's referring to the first time she went to jail. But why is she still wearing that uniform outside of prison? Well, she may have gotten out of jail, but she was by no means free. Having to teach SpongeBob is a prison in itself, and she manifests that by believing she's in jail and wearing a prison uniform despite being on the outside. This entire episode, every time SpongeBob magically appears, is all inside of her head. She is completely delusional, and hints that she's experiencing these hallucinations don't stop there. Just 6 episodes later, she goes to a house party SpongeBob throws, and while everyone is talking and having a good time, in the background we see she's literally sitting by herself talking to an ice sculpture of SpongeBob. You can't tell me this isn't intentional. I mean, look at this. Now, back in the episode No Free Rides, there is a very strange picture inside of Mrs. Puff's home. It's a picture of Mrs. Puff inside of a picture of Mrs. Puff inside of a picture of Mrs. Puff, creating an infinite loop. This is something that has confused SpongeBob fans for years. But like everything in the show, there is a reason for it being there. One of the SpongeBob storyboard artists actually called it the biggest mystery in the entire show. If you think about it, this is just like the end of Doing Time, where she's stuck in an infinite loop of SpongeBob failing the driving test. Because it's all symbolic of what her life is, just an endless cycle of SpongeBob taking the test and failing, and no matter what she does to try and escape, she always ends up back in the same place at the end of the episode. So this picture is another symbolic manifestation of what she's feeling. We even see another one of these pictures all the way in Season 9, Episode 5, Bumper to Bumper. This is something that the show is consistently alluding to. Mrs. Puff is an unreliable narrator, and anything we see with her could potentially all be inside of her own head. In fact, I believe I found another episode that takes place inside of her head. In Season 9, Episode 17, SpongeBob Long Pants, SpongeBob goes to a different boating instructor and actually gets his license. But as soon as he does, we briefly cut to Mrs. Puff waking up.
You pass. I finally got my driver's license!
Lock your doors, bar your windows, it's the end of the world!
Now, this seems like it's probably just a throwaway gag where Mrs. Puff somehow senses that SpongeBob got his license, and it causes her to wake up and freak out. You know, it's a good bit, it's funny, but I have a question. If the joke is that she's supposed to be waking up at the exact time SpongeBob gets his license, how come she wakes up at night when SpongeBob clearly gets his license during the day? Because this entire episode actually takes place inside of Mrs. Puff's head. And this is the only part of the episode in the real world.
I don't know what that was all about, but I'm glad it's over.
But let me pause for a second. I'm sure some of you
Wait.
are already wondering if this contradicts my previous SpongeBob video,
What's
The
good,
Television
Darnell?
Theory. If you haven't watched that one, the gist of it is that the entire show is a documentary television show, and everything we see is actually being secretly filmed by scuba divers. And there's a ton of evidence to support it. I'm very proud of that video. You should definitely check it out. But if everything's supposed to be from a camera, then how are we seeing things from inside Mrs. Puff's head? In fact, how do we see dreams and flashbacks and thought bubbles? Well, I think the simple answer is that even though we view the show through an objective camera lens, the world itself still follows the rules of a cartoon.
You can never tell another living soul.
Wait, hold on! What's that? My pen is out of ink. Plankton! You'll never get me formula, not even in a flashback.
In the world of SpongeBob, you can imagine something and other people can still see, record, or interact with it, because that's just how cartoons work. Back to the theory, we know that her insanity has caused her to live a life of delusion, but if you're
This nigga went back and further proved his old theory while doing the new theory. This nigga is a goat.
Remember back to the Lighthouse episode, she's also become an extreme hoarder, and looking at her collection of junk is like a look directly into her mind, so there's gotta be something we can learn about her from it. There's a picture of her boyfriend, Mr. Krabs, the hall monitor belt she gives her students, the mean drawings her students make her, SpongeBob's diary, a boating safety helmet. Wait, SpongeBob's diary? Why does she have SpongeBob's diary? The last time we saw that, it was safely put away in SpongeBob's library. What's it doing in her lighthouse? And why does she have Squidward's painting? And a table from the Krusty Krab? And SpongeBob's bike? And Squidward's teddy bear? And the hair curlers Mr. Krabs had? And that statue of Squidward? And that diamond ring? And that crown? And that bucket of radioactive waste? And that jellyfish sign? Oh my god.
She is thief?
Mrs. Puff is a kleptomaniac.
Oh my
Mrs.
god!
Puff has been stealing from everyone in Bikini Bottom. I can even prove that her pet snail from season 3 episode 19 was stolen.
My snail is up a tree. I've had her since I was a little girl.
You've had that snail since you've been a little girl, huh? Then how come that is the exact same snail Squidward had 4 episodes ago in the Great Snail Race?
I wouldn't let Snally here play with that mongrel mutt. She's a purebred. See, she even has her own papers.
He even has her paperwork. Mrs. Puff clearly stole the snail from Squidward. But why the hell would Mrs. Puff steal all this other junk? What possible use could she have for any of it?
What the hell?
We can find the answer to that question by looking at this green hat and this purple jacket. These were gifts Mr. Krabs bought her on the first date, but she ended up feeling uncomfortable receiving them and gave them back to him.
I'm afraid I just don't feel comfortable accepting all these gifts.
Except apparently she's not too uncomfortable to steal them back afterwards. So clearly Mrs. Puff isn't stealing this stuff because she wants to use it. She just steals for the thrill of it. Maybe stealing things is her way of coping with the insanity of her everyday life.
Mrs.
And remember,
Puff, you
this isn't the first time she's
different.
gone insane.
You can get through this without losing your sanity. Oh,
She different.
Go down again.
In fact, I have reason to believe that she started stealing things way back whenever she first went insane.
I hope I still remember how to do this.
I don't think she's just talking about remembering how to make balloon animals. She's probably also referring to remembering how to steal a boat. And if that's not enough for you, in a SpongeBob comic book, she actually admits that she used to rob banks, and she wears the exact same ski mask.
Yo,
Mrs. Puff lives a
hello?
completely delusional and miserable life, all because she has to teach SpongeBob how to drive. It's led her to steal from the people she cares about and completely disassociate from reality. But that begs a very important question. If SpongeBob is causing her life to be so miserable, then why does she even keep teaching him? After all the destruction and pain he's caused, she'd totally be justified to expel him, right? I mean, she will literally try and kill him so she doesn't have to teach him, but for some reason she can't just expel him. It's almost like there's someone forcing her to teach SpongeBob.
Wait.
Back to the episode No Free Rides. After prematurely giving SpongeBob a license, she steals his boatmobile so he can't hurt anyone. In the end, this causes her to get arrested and go to jail, but then SpongeBob tells her this.
And besides, the warden says she'll let you go early, if you do her a favor.
What's that?
Free driving lessons!
She'll get to leave prison early if she gives free driving lessons. That seems like an oddly specific requirement. And that's not the only time this gets mentioned either. In Season 9, Episode 5, Bumper to Bumper, we get this scene.
If only SpongeBob could pass his boating test, he'd be out of my life once and for all. Unfortunately, I keep getting reminded of the consequences if I get too angry with the little nuisance.
Consequences? Are you telling me that if she refuses to teach SpongeBob specifically, she'll be violating her parole and get sent back to jail? Why does the prison even care if Mrs. Puff teaches SpongeBob? Is it just part of some weird community service? But things start to get really suspicious at the end of Season 7, Episode 5, Summer Job. Once again, Mrs. Puff ends up in jail, but this time she's forced to go to a prison boating school.
Oh, wow! A driver's education class!
Good day, class!
I must be having a nightmare! What's he doing here?
Dear Mrs. Puff, I'm following in your footsteps and got a job as a driver's ed teacher for the summer.
No.
Who in their right mind would hire SpongeBob to do this after he's literally destroyed the city countless times while driving?
License.
Is this just another one of Mrs. Puff's delusions? Or is the prison intentionally forcing her to be around SpongeBob just to torture her? I mean, look at the way the guard forces her to sit there and listen to him.
Get me out of here!
And look at that evil smile he has as he watches her endure this torture. There is something very strange going on with this prison. Then, in Season 10, Episode 8, The Getaway, Mrs. Puff meets a criminal named Dorsal Dan and starts to get romantic feelings for him. This is also while she's still dating Mr. Krabs. Shame on you, Mrs. Puff. At the end of the episode, they both accidentally land in prison, and the warden puts him in solitary confinement.
Warden, I found this one pulling up outside the prison.
Dorsal Dan, a notorious getaway driver. Toss him in the clink.
A notorious...
I'll wait for you, my little tenderfoot.
In or out of jail, this prison will stop at nothing to make sure she is alone and miserable. But why? Who's behind all of this? Why would anyone care this much about torturing Mrs. Puff? Who's the mastermind pulling the strings? Well, maybe it has something to do with her old life in New Kelp City. Maybe she crossed someone and they've been plotting their revenge ever since. But I've looked in every single frame of New Kelp City, and there is nothing connecting it back to the prison. I've looked literally everywhere, and there's not a single person from the city that has anything to do with Mrs. Puff.
That's cap.
Well, I mean, maybe except for the literal warden of the prison she's being kept in! He may be hiding slightly off screen, but that is clearly the same warden of the Bikini Bottom prison. And this isn't some random background character that the show reuses all the time. He is a very distinct character. You can call me out on the Squilliam video all you want, but not this time. But wait a second. If the warden was originally from New Kelp City, then he'd probably know about Mrs. Puff's dark past and her true identity. So why hasn't he exposed her? He's just kept quiet about the fact that one of his inmates is living a completely false identity. She'd probably even get more prison time when they find out who she really is, so why hasn't he said anything? This is where things get very interesting. So, we know Mrs. Puff prematurely gave a student at her original boating school a license, and that led to them causing chaos and destruction. Maybe this student accidentally did something terrible to the warden, and he's blamed Mrs. Puff ever since. Whatever happened was so terrible that it caused him to move to Bikini Bottom and get a job as the warden of the town's prison. And to his surprise, he finds out that one of his inmates is actually the person he blamed for that terrible thing happening. This works out perfectly for him. He can finally get his revenge on Mrs. Puff by making her life miserable. All he has to do is reveal her dark secret and she'll be stuck in jail for much longer. Except for one small issue with his plan. Mrs. Puff actually likes being in prison.
One day down, 2,528 to go.
You know what? She really does.
Just shy of 4 years.
She said, I want to stay. These are my people. Yo, this nigga is big brain, bro.
So, he comes up with a new plan. Keep Mrs. Puff's secret and let her out of prison early, but only under the condition that she has to teach SpongeBob. He's literally turning her normal life into a prison. And he makes sure going back to prison to avoid SpongeBob isn't even an option for her anymore, because he'll make sure that SpongeBob is always in there with her. And he's not gonna let her escape and start a new life like she did in New Kelp City. He makes sure to give her an ankle bracelet that doesn't let her leave Bikini Bottom.
I can't even leave town without violating my parole.
He is the mastermind who's been controlling everything this entire time. But guess what? His insidious plan doesn't even end there. This is not the first time we've seen the warden character. We first see him in Season 4, Episode 2, Krabs vs. Plankton. In this episode, Plankton slips on some water in the Krusty Krab and decides to sue Mr. Krabs for everything he owns. And then guess who shows up out of nowhere and offers to be Mr. Krabs' lawyer?
What I really need is a good lawyer.
Whoa, did somebody say lawyer? Richard A. Bottom feeder, attorney at law. I couldn't help but notice that
despicable display.
Richard A. Bottom Feeder, the warden of the Bikini Bottom prison, is also apparently a lawyer? That's kind of strange. Those both sound like major careers. You usually wouldn't imagine someone being both. Then he says he'll be Mr. Krabs' lawyer completely free of charge.
So, how much is this gonna cost
me? Hey, thank you for the 20 bits.
I won't charge a dime unless we win.
Well, that's awfully generous of you, Richard. He seems very confident that he can win the case, but right before he goes to court, he slips on some water and says SpongeBob will have to be Mr. Krabs' lawyer now.
Oh, this is gonna be a slam dunk.
Oh, no!
Damn.
Mr. Krabs' lawyer, speak to me!
Wrapped with pain, can't move. Looks like you're gonna have to handle this one, son.
He tells SpongeBob that he has to represent Mr. Krabs, even though he himself called SpongeBob a liability.
Actually, SpongeBob, we won't be needing any testimony from you. Why, you'd be more of a liability than an asset.
But it's okay, because apparently all SpongeBob needs to win is inside of Richard's briefcase.
Everything you need to win is in this here case.
Really? Everything?
Except when SpongeBob gets to court, he realizes that Richard never gave him the combination to the case.
It's, all in here.
Really?
Yep, right in here.
Is there a problem?
Your lawyer didn't give me the combination.
Either Richard A. Bottom Feeder is the worst lawyer in history, or this is all part of his elaborate plan to ruin Mrs. Puff's life. Here's what I think happened. First, he finds out that Mr. Krabs is being sued, and he wants to ensure that Mr. Krabs loses the case because he wants to destroy any chance Mrs. Puff has at finding love. So he pretends to be a lawyer, even offering his services for free, something Mr. Krabs can't resist. He makes Mr. Krabs feel confident that they're gonna win the case, and then at the last second, he pretends to get into an accident so he can't represent Mr. Krabs. Instead of finding a real lawyer to replace him, he tells the most incompetent person for the job, SpongeBob, that he has to be Mr. Krabs' lawyer. And he gives him a case that allegedly has all the answers in it without actually giving SpongeBob the combination, setting him up for a total failure in court. Richard A. Bottom Feeder refuses to let anyone get close to Mrs. Puff. Not Dorsal Dan and not Mr. Krabs. This guy has squillion levels of hate for Mrs. Puff. But why? What exactly did her previous student do that warrants this much torture? It can't be something as simple as him or his property getting damaged. It has to be something life-changing. Something like losing a loved one because of the student's reckless driving. And I think the show gives us one last hint about who this might have been. All the pictures of Mrs. Puff's house are very meaningful to her. She's got photos of Mr. Krabs, her pet snail, and of course those infinitely looping photos that told us so much about her mental state. But there is one more photo in this house that might be the key to this entire conspiracy. In season 12, episode 14, Plankton's Old Chum, we see a photo of someone we've never seen before on Mrs. Puff's wall. There's some surprising similarities between this character and Richard. The green color, the red bow tie, the overall fancy, serious appearance. It clearly isn't the same person, but maybe this is someone related to Richard, like a father, a son, or a brother that Mrs. Puff's former student killed. And the reason she keeps a photo of him up is to have a permanent reminder to never make the same mistake of giving someone a license who doesn't deserve it.
Yo!
Mrs. Puff is a boating school teacher who once made a terrible mistake that led to the loss of her business,
this shit
identity,
makes
sanity,
too much
and
sense.
any chance at finding happiness. I like to think that there used to be a time when she was happy, back when her husband was still alive. If only he was still around today, maybe she wouldn't have to face all of this on her own. Thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. Is what I would say if I was done, except her husband is still alive. Woo! Let's do this. In the SpongeBob movie, SpongeBob and Patrick travel to a gift shop in Shell City that's full of dead fish turned into knickknacks and ornaments. Except they end up setting off the smoke detector, which activates the sprinkler system and brings all the dead fish back to life, including a very familiar-looking pufferfish hanging from the ceiling. Mr. Puff is alive. Well, wait a second. If he's alive and he escaped, then why hasn't he gone back to Mrs. Puff? Why is she still alone? Because remember, she ran away from their home in New Kelp City and started a new identity. So sadly, Mr. Puff has no way of finding her. The tragedy of Mrs. Puff's story is that her happiness is just a city away, but she can never even leave town because that would violate her parole.
Yo!
Bottom Feeder probably even knows her husband is alive and is making sure they're never reunited. As the name says, Richard really is a bottom feeder. This video took a ton of time and effort to do all the research for, so I really hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring this theory. Go to nordvpn.com/AlexBale or use code AlexBale.
What's happening? Okay, Publix. W. Mad Me. What are you doing? What's happening? What? Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh my god. Hey yo. Oh shit. Oh yeah, we gotta watch the next one. We gonna hopefully watch it either. If not Saturdays, we gonna watch that shit Monday. Oh golly. Two, what's good? What's going on? Which is your girl Simba. And it is theory time. You know what I mean? Bada boom, bada bang.
Alex Bale out with another video. The makers of SpongeBob interfere to put in their own message to brainwash you people. Squilliam sends the doctor in. He's not really a doctor.
Is this nigga wearing the aluminum cone? Hello? He's one of those.
Brainwash you people. Squilliam sends the doctor in. He's not really a doctor. He's just trying to infiltrate that little round thing on his head there. Oh my god. Thank God for Alex Bale. Look at that. He's helping me prove my point. You know what? That is awesome.
Maybe some of you love them a little too much. You know, I got other videos, right? I make films and stuff too. Anyone want to watch those? Anyways, by far
that's
the
not what
most
we here
popular
for.
SpongeBob theory out there is the Bikini Atoll nuclear radiation theory. It's pretty simple. It's been confirmed that Bikini Bottom is actually beneath a real-life place called Bikini Atoll. From 1946 to 1958, the United States did nuclear tests there, devastating the area and leaving it radioactive even to this day. The theory states that the reason why the citizens of Bikini Bottom can talk and have formed advanced societies is because of mutations caused by these nuclear tests. And that's about the whole theory. Even though there's tons and tons of videos about it, none of them actually go in depth with it or really look through the show for evidence. But y'all know that if Alex Bale is making a theory on it, then it's not going to be some baby surface level analysis.
Okay.
I will watch every single episode of SpongeBob. I will read every page of the goddamn Wikipedia. If I'm making a theory on it, then you guys know it's going to be good.
Okay.
And once I really started looking into this theory, I realized that there is so much more here than anyone thinks. Get ready, because today we're going to be solving the biggest mysteries in the history of SpongeBob SquarePants and changing the way you look at the entire show. So without further ado, let's begin the theory.
Let's do this.
In order to find out whether the Bikini Atoll theory is true, we first have to determine whether fish talking and being so intelligent is unique to Bikini Bottom, or if that's just the way the SpongeBob universe works. You know, it could just be that all animals in this world are able to talk, and that's completely normal because at the end of the day, SpongeBob is still just a cartoon. Well, if we take a look at Season 10, Episode 10, Feral Friends, we get a bit of a hint about how the SpongeBob world works. In this episode, a green moon appears and transforms all the characters into less cartoony, real-life versions of themselves.
What?
SpongeBob? Hat trick?
What the hell?
Just like in real life, they can't talk and end up trying to eat each other. The French narrator is watching all this unfold, and he says this very important...
You know what? To this day, like, I haven't watched a lot of, new, SpongeBob, but I need to see these episodes, because what the hell?
Line.
I have been monitoring the behavior of the green moon all day. It is called Neptune's moon, Every 100 years, it de-evolves everyone in Bikini Bottom into primal fish.
Every 100 years, it de-evolves everyone in Bikini Bottom into primal fish. So this implies that the characters in Bikini Bottom are more evolved and were once like these primal fish. But this doesn't prove that the evolution only exists in Bikini Bottom. It could still be a worldwide phenomenon. Remember that bonus DVD clip I found in my television theory? It was about humans studying fish in Bikini Bottom because of their intelligence.
Land-loving scientists have tried to learn the secrets of intelligence. Their studies led them to the sea, where the citizens of one undersea colony demonstrated a genius so enormous, the scientists felt compelled to record their actions for use in teaching mankind how to live better.
This makes it sound an awful lot like the fish in Bikini Bottom actually are uniquely evolved and it's not some worldwide phase. Then, in the SpongeBob 20-year anniversary special, SpongeBob's Big Birthday Blowout, we get a major piece of evidence for this theory. SpongeBob and Patrick take a tour of the surface world and eventually go to a fish store and see some very realistic, less evolved fish.
What kind of monsters would want to keep fish folk in jail like this? They're so beautiful.
They can't talk back to SpongeBob and Patrick, and they're actually able to swim freely through the water instead of being affected by gravity. They are clearly showing us that both evolved and primitive fish exist in this universe at the same time. Now, sometimes we've seen Bikini Bottom characters represented as realistic fish like this, but only when they're out of water, never while they're still in water like these fish. We even—
Oh, you know what? That's right. That's right. Because like, yo, anytime, like, it was like when Sandy got out the water, she turned into like a regular squirrel, you know, Squidward, okay. But see, here's the thing though. Right in the episode, I mean in the movie, when all the fish were in that shop and then the water turned on, all those fish, did they not turn into talking fish? I could have sworn they were talking, or were they not? Were they talking? When you know what I'm saying, when they was all goopy goopers and then I don't know, bro. They started talking, right?
See this again in the beginning of the third SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run. The movie opens with a coral reef full of these realistic primal fish, but eventually we get to Bikini Bottom where the more evolved fish live. So there you go, direct proof that the citizens of Bikini Bottom are uniquely evolved. This is a very deliberate world-building choice for the creators to make. So I guess that kind of confirms the Bikini Atoll theory. Theory confirmed! We did it! Woo! Well, let's hold on for a second. As much as I'd love to call this theory complete, there's actually one major piece of evidence that gives me some resistance. Something I've never seen anyone else bring up when talking about this theory. Prehistoric Bikini Bottom. We've seen episodes like UGG or SB129 that show Bikini Bottom millions of years in the past, but we still see evolved versions of SpongeBob and Patrick. Sure, they may not be super intelligent or advanced, but they're still clearly way more evolved than the primitive, realistic versions we see in Feral Friends or in the fish store. So, how are we seeing these evolutions millions of years before the Bikini Atoll tests? Well, unfortunately, I think the only conclusion is that the Bikini Atoll theory just isn't true. I mean, clearly something has caused Bikini Bottom citizens to be uniquely evolved, there's no denying that. But whatever caused it took place millions of years ago and couldn't have been the Bikini Atoll nuclear tests. Then, what really caused the evolution? In the entire show, the only thing we've seen that directly affects the evolution of characters is the Green Moon and Feral Friends. Except the French narrator specifically calls it Neptune's moon.
It is called Neptune's moon.
Named after the ruler of the seven seas, King Neptune. King Neptune is a character who's been around since the beginning of the sea. He's a character who the Bikini Bottom citizens view as their god. And he's a character who has the ability to change fish into other forms.
What the? Oops.
King Neptune used his magic to turn the fish of the sea into more evolved subjects for him to rule over. He's the one who's been behind it all this time. Now, I could spend this entire video talking about King Neptune and his weird continuity and contradictions in the show, but I'll save that for another theory. What I'd much rather talk about are the implications of having evolved and primitive fish coexisting in the sea. Now, we know that this evolution isn't specific to just Bikini Bottom. We've seen different cities and places far across the ocean that still have talking fish, which makes sense because the marine life in Bikini Bottom has evolved to resemble humans, so it's no surprise that just like humans, they've expanded beyond Bikini Bottom and colonized other areas of the sea. But now, I have an interesting question for you. What is the relationship between evolved fish and primitive unevolved fish? Well, they probably just peacefully coexist in the sea without bothering each other. You know, just like real-life humans and animals. Wait a second.
Wait, is this gonna be about Mr. Krabs? And him being freaky? The war? Wait, what?
In Season 3, Episode 10, the Krusty Krab training video, there is this hilarious, absurd moment when they're talking about Mr. Krabs.
After the war, Krabs stayed secluded in a deep depression that seemed endless.
Like, what war happened in Bikini Bottom? They just tell us this and then completely drop it. But with this new context, is it possible that Krabs fought in a war against these primitive, wild fish of the sea? I mean, let's remember in Feral Friends, some of those de-evolved fish were massive compared to the evolved fish, and they immediately started attacking each other.
The battle for the survival of the fittest rages on in the animal kingdom.
So yeah, in order for the Bikini Bottom citizens to survive and expand, they would probably break into some kind of war. And from the sounds of it, this war must have been pretty brutal to put Mr. Krabs into such a deep depression. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Is there actually any evidence that proves the war Mr. Krabs fought in was specifically this evolutionary war? Well, through the few flashbacks we get, we know that Mr. Krabs served in the Navy. And yes, they were sailing ships on an ocean, even though they're already underwater. This is actually a real-life phenomenon where certain parts of the sea can have a higher level of salinity, and it looks like an underwater ocean. Shout out Miss Parks, my high school marine biology teacher. We also know from maps of Bikini Bottom that the town is surrounded by this underwater ocean. So that places Mr. Krabs' war outside of Bikini Bottom where this evolutionary war would have to take place. Then if we take a look at Mr. Krabs' home, we see it is full of memorabilia from his past days in the Navy. But hidden within here is something that will absolutely blow your mind and answer one of the biggest questions in the show. Hanging there on his wall is a picture of a massive whale next to a ship. You don't think that could be...
Yo!
No.
Pearl's mom?
Pearl's mother? Pearl is Mr. Krabs' whale daughter. The show never really explains how a crab can be the father of a whale, but most people just assume she was adopted. People have been speculating about who Pearl's biological mother is for years, and I think we finally just found our answer. We see 2 photos of this whale on a ship in Season 3, Episode 9, just 1 episode before we find out Mr. Krabs fought in a war. Since this is among all of Mr. Krabs' Navy stuff, I think we can assume that this is something he encountered and not just some random picture of a whale on a ship above the ocean. The whale is massive compared to the ship. We've seen adult whales in Bikini Bottom before, but they are nothing compared to the size of this whale. This has a much closer resemblance to Pearl when she de-evolved in Feral Friends and became massive. So this has to be an unevolved primitive whale, and the picture clearly shows them fighting. Not only does this prove that there was a war between evolved and primitive fish, but Mr. Krabs definitely fought in it. But this also implies something very dark. Mr. Krabs killed Pearl's mother.
Wait, what?
The only direct reference we get in the show to Pearl's mother is one of Mr. Krabs' many sayings, Mother of Pearl.
Mother of Pearl! Mother of Pearl! Holy Mother of Pearl!
He uses it in places something like Holy Crap or Dear God, only saying it when something truly shocking or terrible happens, because he knows the terrible thing that happened to Pearl's mother. Why did Mr. Krabs go into such a deep depression after the war? Because he's haunted by what he's done, and the smoking harpoon to prove it is right there on his wall. So, that leaves us with an important question. Why did he adopt Pearl? After he killed her mother, he probably realized she had an infant daughter who had the evolutionary genes. Instead of leaving her to die, he adopted her as his own, all while keeping the dark secret that he was responsible for her mother's death. Woo! Childhood ruined yet? Well, don't worry, there's still time for this theory to get even worse.
What?
Now's your chance to remove yourself before things get really dark.
Oh shit, chat. Part 3, where things
Still
get
here?
really... Bruh.
Okay, so here's a fun question. What's the deal with all the pets in Bikini Bottom? How come most fish are basically humans, but a snail or a worm acts like a pet? Well, just like humans have domesticated wild animals, it should be no surprise that evolved fish have domesticated primitive fish as pets. Unlike the massive primitive fish that the Bikini Bottom citizens had to go to war with, there's also smaller primitive fish like jellyfish, snails, spirit worms, seahorses, and clams that the Bikini Bottom citizens were able to form a symbiotic relationship with.
Okay.
Aww, and I thought you said this was gonna be the dark part, Alex. They're living peacefully together. That's nice. Okay, you got me. Here's another fun question. Where do the citizens of Bikini Bottom get their food? I mean, sure, some of it is plant-based, but there sure does seem to be an awful lot of meat-based food under the sea. I think you know where I'm going with this. The Bikini Bottom citizens eat primitive fish.
Hello?
It's not cannibalism if they're less evolved than you, right? There's no moral dilemma there. In Season 3, Episode 13, we see direct proof of this when the characters go fishing for primitive clams. This is something completely normal in this world. And then there's the Chum Bucket, which sells chum. Chum. Chum is literally just ground up fish. The show isn't even hiding this. Now, we don't really see too much of the meat harvesting side of Bikini Bottom, and I'm not surprised they're keeping it on the DL, you know, with the whole cannibalism thing, but there is one secret to making food that is kept more secret than anything in Bikini Bottom. The best kept secret in the entire show. You already know what I'm gonna say, the Krabby Patty secret formula. Throughout the show, there's been lots of contradictory evidence about the Krabby Patty secret formula. In Season 4, Episode 7, Mr. Krabs says it's an old family recipe.
Your mother knows the Krabby Patty formula? Of course she does! It's an old Krabs family recipe!
But in Season 5, Episode 1, apparently Mr. Krabs discovered it on his own by accidentally mixing random ingredients together.
I've done it! I discovered the perfect patty batter!
Sometimes it's a secret formula, sometimes it's a book, sometimes it's a secret sauce, and any glimpse we get at the formula is just random nonsense. There is a ton of contradictory evidence out there, but I think this might all be intentional. In order to throw people off, Mr. Krabs has spread misinformation about the Krabby Patty formula. In fact, he's already done this in Season 3, Episode 18 by hiding a fake formula for Plankton to find that says he's the secret ingredient.
Yeah, that
mixed together with the most important ingredient of all, 4 heaping pounds of freshly ground plankton?
And the contradictions aren't just inside the show. Even one of the SpongeBob crew members once said that Krabby Patties are vegetarian and contain no meat. But I've always been a little suspicious about what the creators say. They've also said that they're not allowed to show fish as food, except they clearly do with chum, clam fishing, and all the many, many gags where fish turn into food. It's almost like they're not allowed by Nickelodeon to publicly acknowledge this because that could create a controversy, but they could still sneak this dark secret into the show. So, what is the true secret ingredient? Where does the meat really come from? It's strange, we never really see Mr. Krabs get the meat delivered, or at least go out himself to get it.
Okay,
it's almost like he has all the meat
always in the freezer
stockpiled somewhere. What primitive meat can Mr. Krabs have access to? Maybe he's been holding on to something from the war. What could Mr. Krabs have killed during the war that he doesn't want anyone to find out about? Something big enough to supply him with meat for years without needing more. What could that be?
No! Is it Whale?
Make me say it. Mr. Krabs is using Pearl's dead mother's carcass to make Krabby Patties. Woo! We did it! Yeah, we solved the mystery. We did it.
That nigga said, honestly, bro, if that's right, that nigga, Krabs is a demon, bro. Bro, there's no shot, right? If that's really the case, Mr. Krabs kills his moms. Listen, think about it. Mr. Krabs kills the Pearl's mom, takes her in, and then consistently feeds people that same meat. Like, what? Like, even Pearl has eaten Krabby Patties at a point. There's no shot, right?
Season 1, Episode 15, Sleepy Time. Mr. Krabs has a dream that he's on a boat fishing for a massive dollar. This is his memory of killing Pearl's mother, except now all he sees her as is money. And take a guess what name he calls the dollar.
What's he doing, Mr. Krabs?
I'm picking Neptune's pocket!
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about cold, hard flipping cash. It's the mighty Moby Dollar!
Moby $1, a direct reference to Moby Dick, a story about hunting a whale. Are you kidding me? And that is the evolution theory. I warned you guys this would be a dark one. The Bikini Atoll theory, King Neptune, Pearl's mother, the Krabby Patty formula, we hit everything in this theory. Even if you don't agree with all of it, you gotta admit a lot of this makes sense. Eugene Krabbe's aspirations for money and greed have caused him to do terrible, terrible things. At least his love for Pearl seems to be real, so maybe there's some small amount of good in him. And even though Pearl's mother probably provides—
Or maybe he's just waiting until Pearl gets older, and then like slash, do the dash, she's dead and she's another supply of meat.
It's tons of meat. Eventually he's gonna run out and he'll have to face what he's done. Well, unless of course there's another whale he has access to. Nope.
I see.
Nope,
I told you, chat. See, I told you, chat. See, I told you, chat. I told you, chat.
No. No. Mr. Krabs wouldn't do that. He loves Pearl. He's not just raising her for Krabby Patty meat. Even Mr. Krabs isn't that much of a monster.
From every side I've ever seen to the sweetest sound I've heard, I'd gladly give up everything for all the money that I've earned.
Huh. Well, already then, that's the end of
that
that
nigga's
theory.
a
Just gonna end it here
demon.
before there's any more dark plot twists. You guys have been insanely supportive with these SpongeBob theories, so I guess I have to make more. I've been your host, Alex Bale. Thanks for watching.
That nigga's a demon. Wait, didn't this happen last time?
Hey. Just want to let you know that I think I'm gonna take a break from the SpongeBob videos for a little bit. It's not you. I mean, the videos are great. People love them. It's just, I think I want to go back to making actual films for a bit. Okay then. Thanks for everything. I guess I'll just see you around.
When I found you were unnoticed and unloved. But now you have millions of views. You have sponsors. Why would you forsake them?
Wait.
You know, I don't want to really make these videos forever, you know. I don't want to be known as the SpongeBob guy.
Yo?
My boy, you really think they will care about your little films? I am your muse. I have given you the gift of knowledge. If you wish to go back to anonymity, then be my guest. But I know who you really are.
No, sir. No, sir, because what the was that? No, sir. Oh, no. Listen, child, listen. Hell no. Oh, two, what's good? What's going on with you? It's your girl Simba, and it is time for another reaction, okay? Today, we are finna check out something from Alex Bale. If you know what it is, then you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Big simple, big simple.
So, the continuity with King Neptune is a bit of a mess. There are 2 different King Neptunes. There's a King Poseidon. There's 3 different royal palaces. 2 of them are called the City of Atlantis, but there's also a 3rd unrelated City of Atlantis. It's confusing to say the least.
Oh, yeah.
But there is actually a way to explain how all of this is intentional and connects together. This is a story of power, deception, and betrayal. This is the Neptune Theory.
Okay. Wait, you know what? I never really realized how many. Wait, hold on.
Is the Neptune Theory.
Nah, cause these is dead ass 2 different people. Man's got a full head of hair, a sharp ass nose, a beautiful, like his beard is brazy. He's balding. His nose is brazy. What is? Huh? Huh?
That was probably nothing.
There's no tension, the pacing is slow. It fundamentally fails as a film. Alex, go back to making SpongeBob theory videos. No one wants to see your awful
Damn. Damn. Why are you flaming that man like that? Hold on.
Go back to making SpongeBob theory videos. No one wants to see your awful horror films. I've been your host.
Wait, hold on.
Videos.
Nigga, you the clinical critic. Okay. Well, his job is to be mean. Nigga's literal his YouTube name is the clinical critic. But my nigga, you got 600 subscribers. Stop coming at my mans like this, okay? Some of his horror short films are a W.
No one wants to see your awful horror films.
So you're not gonna talk to my pal like that. It's alright, Alex. I got your back, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You one of us, bro. One of us.
And we're back. What's up? I'm your host, Alex, the SpongeBob guy, back with another SpongeBob conspiracy. I've said it before, but the overwhelming support for these videos is insane. So I'd be stupid not to make more. I mean, everyone loves them, right?
Hello, fellow truth seekers. It's Conspiracy Carl here. Welcome back to The Awakening. I have been awakened myself to the immense lies of this person right here. This liar, Alex Bale.
Well, almost everyone. So I showed a bit of this conspiracy guy's reaction in my last video, and apparently he didn't like that, so now he's claiming that I'm part of some giant Illuminati conspiracy.
Somebody looks like they're a puppet for the Illuminati. Yes, you sir have been inserting secret messages into your videos. Evil lurks there, people.
It's honestly really funny.
He not dead ass, right? He not dead ass. He not dead ass. Like, bro, what? Shut up, bro.
You should check him out. Anyways, let's get into the theory. Is what I would say if I wasn't sponsored. Hey, Alex.
Nigga, nigga look like an unwrapped Hershey Kiss. Please get the fuck up out of here. Nigga is a unwrapped Hershey Kiss. Yo, get the fuck on, bro.
Shopping VFX.
Oh, how the heck am I gonna learn to do all that?
Learning platform that offers thousands of different Skillshare's videos without any annoying ads interrupting.
Boy, I sure hate when
that bird has a conical shape free. Just be careful not to learn too much. That's a northern royal flycatcher. You can tell by its fan-like crest and long bill. Now on to the theory.
I'm sorry, I had to skip the sponsor, you know what I'm saying? If y'all sponsor me, I'll keep that type stuff in there, you know what I'm saying? But until then, my name Bennett and I ain't in it, you know what I'm saying? Part 1, the movie Neptune. Okay, let's get it.
King Neptune is the ruler of the seven seas and the Roman god of the ocean.
Okay.
If you watch my evolution theory, you know there's also a good chance he's the reason why fish in Bikini Bottom are so evolved and able to talk. He lives in the city of Atlantis with his wife Queen Amphitrite and his son Triton. But in the first SpongeBob movie, he's replaced by a completely different King Neptune who has a completely different daughter named Mindy. These guys don't look or sound at all the same, so how can they both exist in this universe? Well, There's already an interesting theory out there about this.
Okay.
It's widely believed that the SpongeBob movie takes place in the future after the events of the show. So widely believed that I got hundreds of comments about it in my Mrs. Puff theory. Yep, I know guys, I heard what you said. The creator of SpongeBob, Steven Hillenburg, said he wanted to end the series with the movie, and it being canonically at the end of the SpongeBob timeline would explain why we never see the Krusty Krab 2, or any of the other characters from the movie in the later SpongeBob episodes.
Okay,
and
makes
some
sense.
people believe that the reason why movie Neptune is so different is because he's actually Neptune's son, Triton, all grown up. And that's a pretty cool theory, but I don't buy it. Other than
That might
Triton
work.
looking nothing like movie Neptune, I've never actually believed that the SpongeBob movie takes place in the future. Despite there being many people who commented about it on my Mrs. Puff theory as if it was a proven fact, there's never actually been any official confirmation of it. Steven Hillenburg only said that he wanted to stop making SpongeBob after the movie. He never said anything about where the
Said
movie
it's a filler
actually
movie?
takes place
Maybe.
in the timeline of the show. And we do actually briefly see Neptune's daughter Mindy show up later in the show in SpongeBob's Big Birthday Blowout. There's no way she'd be there unless the show took place after the events of the movie. I think what's actually going on here with Neptune is something much more interesting, and it ties directly in with the television theory. If you haven't seen that video, it basically proves that the entire show, SpongeBob SquarePants, is actually a nature documentary being filmed by scuba divers, and many of the elements we see throughout the series are secretly set up by the showrunners to make sure that the show is more entertaining and profitable. And this applies to the SpongeBob movie as well. There's promotional art and even a commercial that acknowledges the fact that it's just a movie being filmed.
Hello? SpongeBob, what kind of jellyfish is that?
Hey guys, it's Carlos from The Zone. Can you tell us about your latest adventure?
Well, this one adventure we had was a real Lulu.
You mean when we went after Neptune's crown? It seemed bigger than our usual adventures.
Yes, and with fewer interruptions.
Well, thanks guys.
With fewer interruptions.
Movie? What's that?
I don't know.
You said, wait a minute. There ain't no way ain't no way. This nigga said King Neptune looking a little good. You good? 4K. Please put the 4K emotes in there, because what you talking about, bro?
Real reason why Neptune looks so different in the movie is because the filmmakers couldn't get the real King Neptune, the literal god of the sea, to show up for a movie. So they hired an actor to pretend to be the king. And there is actually a ton of evidence in the show to support this. King Neptune is supposed to live in the great city of Atlantis, but in the movie he just lives in some random sandcastle, almost like they just built a discount version for the movie. But the real evidence comes from season 10, episode 18, Lost and Found, where SpongeBob
I ain't gonna hold you. Alex be having mad receipts. Let's get back
beneath the Krusty Krab to look for something in the Lost and Found. As he searches through this surprisingly massive collection of items, on one of the shelves we see something mind-blowing. The crown worn by King Neptune in the SpongeBob movie.
Ooh.
The entire plot of the movie hinges on the fact that Neptune thinks Mr. Krabs stole his crown. Why would Mr. Krabs have this now? Because this isn't just the Krusty Krabs Lost and Found. It's also where they store the props used by the SpongeBob SquarePants filmmakers to create the SpongeBob movie.
Okay,
if you
that makes
remember
sense.
from my television theory, Mr. Krabs is secretly working for the showrunners to spy on all the main characters. And his secret surveillance room was hidden beneath the Krusty Krab, just like this Lost and Found.
Oh, shit.
So it makes perfect sense for the showrunners to hide their props down here.
Okay.
And if you still don't believe me, we also see SpongeBob's guitar, the Goofy Goober peanut hats, and the magical bag of wind. All items from the movie that would make no sense being down here unless this was the showrunner's prop storage, and the movie King Neptune was just an actor. Well, that's one Neptune down. Now for the real mystery, King Poseidon.
Nah, that actually makes a little bit of sense. Now that, like, all that shit
in the
was
third
just sitting there.
SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run, the King of the Sea is yet again replaced by a new character, King Poseidon, the Greek god of the ocean.
I never
he
seen this
actually
one.
does live in the city of Atlantis, except instead of the ancient royal architecture, it's a giant casino designed to make money. It'd be easy to say that these are just two separate kings that rule different areas of the sea, but they both claim to be the ruler of the seven seas. So how can two different characters both be the king of the same seven seas? The answer to that question actually has to do with a place called Camp Coral. Throughout the third SpongeBob movie, we keep cutting back to flashbacks of a younger SpongeBob and all the other characters when they all went to summer camp together. This was all to set up a spin-off show called Camp Coral that followed these younger characters. Now at first, I just wrote the show off as SpongeBob following the trend of making all their characters younger to appeal to a younger demographic. It's been done before and it's never very good. They also completely contradict the continuity of the main show by having characters like Sandy and SpongeBob meet as kids when we know they actually met as adults in the main show. Look, I am having a hard enough time figuring out the show's continuity on its own. I do not need another show full of contradictions to make it even harder. But the creators actually did something very clever to make the continuity work. The 7th episode of Camp Coral ends with one of the biggest plot twists I've ever seen from the show. So in this episode, SpongeBob actually discovers the Krabby Patty secret formula way before it was supposed to be created by Mr. Krabs. But at the end of the episode, it gets accidentally destroyed by Sandy, and then we get this mind-blowing scene.
Little Cheeks calling Big Cheeks. Come in, Big Cheeks.
Call him Big Cheeks.
Little Cheeks. This is Big Cheeks. Speaking you from the future. How's things going in the past? Your plan worked perfectly. The formula worked out before Mr. Plate could nab it. Now it could be safely rediscovered in the future. I knew sending you to Camp Coral was the right thing to do. Over and out. Bye, Mr. Mission accomplished. Timeline preserved. Now everything can continue just the way it's always been.
So Sandy used...
Wait a damn minute. Wait, hey, nah. What? Wait, no, but wait. Wait a damn minute. Facts, we not just gonna scoop past that. Yo, nah, the plot, no, bro. Nah, these writers deadass know what that, bro. Flash, exactly. That shit is like, it's like fucking, Inception. When they had a dream inside a dream inside. Bro, what? She damn near smart, bruh. How do you even, like, I don't even know. Like, what do you say to this? Nah, the writers deadass knew what they was doing, bruh. They time traveled in the second movie. So, like, okay, so they really, because the episode where SpongeBob met Sandy, they met as adults. So does SpongeBob not remember that they met as kids? Because Sandy, so she sent her younger self to the camp. They wasn't originally supposed to meet. Bro, nah, that got my head messed up. I ain't even gonna hold you. W writing on God. On God, bro. What? Nah, this got my head messed up, chat. Cause I need him to explain. Explain further, please. Cause I am confusion. Okay, I just can't piece this together. What is going on? Talk to me. What's up, bro?
Used time travel to send her past self to Camp Coral so that she could make sure the Krabby Patty formula didn't get discovered before it was supposed to. They actually figured out a way to make this messed up continuity make sense. Don't you dare tell me this show doesn't care about its continuity. Can I also just say that this scene lines up perfectly with my television theory? A major part of that theory is that Sandy is actually a spy working for the showrunners and is secretly making sure everything stays on track. And then what do we see a month after I post my theory? Sandy secretly manipulating everyone to keep the show on track. Just gonna give myself a little pat on the back there. But enough gloating. What does any of this have to do with King Poseidon?
Wow, literally a couple months after he said Sandy is deadass trying to keep everything on track by working with the writers. Deadass, she's the one keeping the formula out of their hands until it's meant to be in their hands. That shit is brazy, bro. You said Sandy and Mr. Krabs ops? Shit, maybe. But
well, this proves that Camp Coral and the movie that sets it up are in an alternate timeline. The events that have taken place in the show are not the same events in this movie. The continuity errors like Sandy and SpongeBob meeting, or Poseidon being the king of the sea instead of Neptune, can be explained by this shift in the timeline. So there you go. King Poseidon and King Neptune are from completely separate timelines. That's why we never see any reference to King Poseidon in the show. And that is the Neptune theory. Huh. I mean, that wasn't so hard. I guess I'm done here.
Cap.
Neptune stirred up quite a gale tonight. He must be mad about something.
That's silly. Everyone knows Poseidon is ruler of the undersea. Everyone knows Poseidon is ruler of the undersea.
Why can't anything ever be easy? This is the clip that really made me decide to make this theory. The beginning of Season 5, Episode 19, Spongehenge, shows two fish arguing over whether Neptune or Poseidon is the real ruler of the sea. It's like the creators are directly telling us that both of these characters somehow exist in the same timeline, and it's our job to figure out how the puzzle pieces fit together. So, let's take a look. Despite both of these characters having similar appearances and personalities, there is one very important difference between them. Poseidon doesn't have power. We've seen many times that King Neptune has magical abilities that he can use at any time, even without his trident. But in the entire third SpongeBob movie, we never see Poseidon use any powers or magical abilities, except for lighting up his trident, but all he has to do for that is just flip a switch, and we know from the episode Trident Trouble that you don't even need to be a god to use the trident. And at the end of the third movie, we find out Poseidon is actually in terrible shape. If you remember at the end of the episode Neptune's Spatula, Neptune briefly turned SpongeBob into a god, and we can see that having god powers gives you a perfect body. So why is Poseidon in such terrible shape? Because he doesn't actually have powers, only Neptune does. Even Neptune's wife, Queen Amphitrite, has to use technology to zap someone, unlike Neptune, who only has to use his finger in the exact same episode. He is clearly the only one with powers, but why? To answer this question, we first have to understand the origins of King Neptune. Now, throughout the show, there is...
Nah, I ain't gonna hold you. This shit is blowing. Yo, my mind is blown right now. I'm trying to piece this shit together. I'm piecing together some shit he said back 5 minutes ago. How Poseidon actually isn't in shape. So is Poseidon actually the actor version of King Neptune? Like, what is going on? How do you, bro? Did I just figure some shit out? I don't even know.
There's very little information on Neptune's past. I read the Wikipedia, I looked through the comic books, the video games, but I just couldn't find anything that would help me. But then I remembered there are SpongeBob shorts, which are like mini episodes that only air once, usually to promote something. So I started looking to see if there were any that could help us, and lo and behold, there is a SpongeBob short called The Story of King Neptune.
What?
Yeah, I guess that could be helpful. This short is about SpongeBob telling Patrick the origins of King Neptune, but it's not entirely clear whether it's true.
The story of King Neptune. When King Neptune was a little Neptune, his mother set him adrift in a river. As he floated along, a radioactive meteor fell to Earth. An alien appeared and anointed the infant with super Neptune fluid.
Is that really the origin of King Neptune?
Sure.
So King Neptune was abandoned as a baby and then given his powers by aliens. But SpongeBob is holding an upside-down comic book, so it feels a lot like something he just made up. And SpongeBob is not the most reliable narrator.
Okay.
Unless there's something in the story that we can definitively prove, I don't think we can use it for a theory. Like, do you really expect me to believe that Neptune got his powers from aliens? I mean, we've never even seen aliens in the show before. Except we have.
Wait.
And they just so happen to also live in a city called Atlantis. Season 5, Episode 12, Atlantis Squarepantis, we see another completely different Atlantis, the lost city of Atlantis, a city that's home to a race of aliens. The Atlantean aliens traveled billions of light years to come to this planet and build their city.
For reasons unknown, this great city disappeared one day, but no ruins were ever found. All the inventions you take for granted were given to us by the Atlanteans.
They were a peaceful race of aliens who shared their technology, but then mysteriously disappeared for some reason. And take a guess what we find when we look inside of that city. A massive sculpture of King Neptune. That story about aliens giving Neptune his powers doesn't sound so far-fetched now, does it? And that's not all we find.
Wait!
Neptune's Ascension, the only surviving painting from the great lost city of Atlantis.
A painting created by the Atlanteans called Neptune's Ascension, aka Neptune ascending to his god status by being given powers by the Atlantean aliens. The story is definitely referencing this. There are too many connections for this to be a coincidence. So even though it's being told by SpongeBob and details like the aliens' appearance are wrong, the story itself is probably based on truth. And there's also a lot of evidence to support the idea that Neptune was abandoned as a baby. In Clash of Triton, Neptune is watching a soap opera in his bedroom and gets upset when his wife turns it off.
Oh
Neptune, surely this isn't the behavior befitting a king, doing nothing but watching daytime television.
Wait! Rochelle was just about to meet her biological parents.
In the soap opera, Rochelle was just about to meet her biological parents. Maybe the real reason why Neptune's so invested in the soap opera is because he's never met his biological parents either. There's even tissues on the table next to him as if he's been crying. And the idea that Neptune was abandoned as a baby works perfectly with the mythology in the show. Neptune is the Roman god of the sea, but he is the only reference to Roman mythology in the show. Everything else we see is from Greek mythology. In the episode Trident Trouble, we see a Greek chorus.
Behold, we're the Greek chorus. We narrate this epic tale.
Neptune once mentioned Zeus, the Greek god of thunder.
So I say, look, Zeus, either you come up with more money, or Neptune walks.
He also mentions Apollo, the Greek god of the sun.
Now behold, my beloved home of Atlantis. A prize worthy of Apollo.
Even in the city of Atlantis where Neptune lives, there's a building named the Poseidon, clearly named after Poseidon. So Neptune is clearly the outsider here, which is why he was abandoned as a baby. But if the sea is actually ruled by Greek mythology, then Poseidon should be the true heir to the throne. Why is Neptune the king in the show? Because after Neptune was given his god powers by aliens, he returned to Atlantis and stole the throne from Poseidon. This would explain why there's so much confusion over who the real king is.
Neptune stirred up quite a gale tonight.
Everyone knows Poseidon is ruler of the undersea.
Legally, Poseidon should be the king, but Neptune took it by force. And that's not all he took from Poseidon. Neptune's wife, Queen Amphitrite, is the goddess of the sea. The Greek goddess of the sea, aka the wife of Poseidon.
Oh
damn,
shit!
Neptune stole his
this nigga's
wife.
wife.
That
What?
is cold. And eventually, everyone did recognize Neptune as the rightful king. The pink fish who seemed adamant about Poseidon being the king completely changes her mind one season later in Clash of Triton.
Oh, wait a minute, King Neptune is coming here? Oh, I'm a huge fan of the royal family. I just love everything they do.
And that is the real story of King Neptune. The reason why Poseidon is king in the third movie is probably because in that timeline, Neptune was never given his god powers, so he never stole the throne from Poseidon. Although, seeing as how Poseidon turned Atlantis into a big casino cash grab city, maybe it's a good thing Neptune took over.
The lost city of Atlantic City.
And that is the Neptune theory. That was a tough one, but we are finally done. See you next time, guys.
That's cap. We're
Wait,
not done.
why is Poseidon City called the Lost City of Atlantic City?
The lost city of Atlantic City.
I mean, the Atlantic City Park makes sense. That's a reference to the real-life Atlantic City. But why is it called the Lost City? There is nothing lost about the city. It seems like everyone's easily able to find it. The only other reference to a lost city of Atlantis is the one with the aliens that gave Neptune his powers. Nope. Nope. I don't care. I'm done with this theory. I don't need to answer every single little question. I am 100% done.
The Atlantean aliens. Alright, let's get it.
Fine, okay? One more quick part just to tie up all the loose ends, and then I am done. Alright, here we go. So we know before the Atlantean aliens mysteriously disappeared, they shared their technology with the creatures of the sea. I think the self-proclaimed gods of the sea got their technology, like tridents and their other weapons, from the Atlantean aliens. In fact, the Atlantean guards even use golden tridents as their weapons. That's why the gods named their city Atlantis, to pay tribute to the Atlanteans that gave them their technology. But all of that changed when Poseidon became king of the sea. He betrayed the Atlanteans and used their own weapons against them to conquer their home and turn it into a casino city. That's why Poseidon City is called the Lost City, even though it's not lost. It's referencing the Atlantean city that was conquered by Poseidon. And the reason why the Atlanteans gave god powers to some random abandoned baby in the main timeline was so that Neptune could take the throne from Poseidon and prevent him from conquering the alien city. And the reason why the Atlantean city mysteriously disappeared was because they hid it so no one could ever try and conquer them again. And that is the Neptune theory. I am done.
Nah, that shit got it.
Okay, that's another one done. Thank you so much for watching. I've been your host, Alex. We've got more on the way. I'll see you next time.
Sheesh. Nah, that shit got it.
That theory was awesome. You know, I don't know how you keep coming up with these, but I mean, they're great.
I just need to see what's back there, though.
And listen, you were totally right. You know, the people want SpongeBob theories, so who am I to ignore them? So Thank you. Hello? Got the meat for you.
What? It's not there no more.
Listen, if we're gonna work on this, then we need to work on our communication skills because this creepy quiet act is getting old. Alright.
Oh. Flip it. What? It's gone. Huh? What about wait. What the fuck? Oh Lord.
Why are you on my ceiling?
My boy, you have done well. But if we are to continue our work, I will require something more.
Boy, what the hell? Oh nah, that shit got it. Something more like what? It's gonna probably be like another month before we get one of these, but hey, you know what I'm saying? Nah, that shit was wild, bro. You two, what's good? What's going on with you? It's your girl Simba, and it is time for another reaction, okay? Look, the boy Alex Bale is back with another SpongeBob conspiracy number 6. This is the Goofy Goober Alien Death Cult. The Goofy Goober Alien Death Cult theory? Oh no, this one's finna take me a loop. Take me for a loop, cause I ain't gonna cap. I'm a Goofy Goober for real, to be honest with you. So now I'm
That's right. You read the title correctly. This is the Goofy Goober Alien Death Cult theory.
Bruh.
And no, I am not joking. This seemingly innocent ice cream parlor is a front for something very sinister. The beloved SpongeBob movie actually has a much darker and tragic meaning to it. I am being 100% serious when I tell you that I think this is my best, most convincing theory yet. And if you thought my evolution theory was dark, well, get ready. This is the Goofy Goober Alien Death Cult theory.
a little scared for this one, Chad. I ain't gonna cap. Oh, W Turtle. This makes me want little CT. I gotta bite the bullet and just go get little CT.
Hey, what's the biggest animal that you have?
Huh?
Oh boy, Alex has finally lost his mind. Goofy Goober Alien Death Cult theory? What, did he make that in a random word generator? Trust me, there's actually a lot to this theory. And if anyone's qualified to make it, it's me, considering I made a whole web series about a restaurant being a front for a cult. Here at Pizza Time Pizza, we don't use any preservatives or fake ingredients. Pizza Time Pizza is not a cult. But those are the old days. I'm the Sponge.
Hello? What? What was that?
Bob guy now, and there is an insane demand for more of these theories. I mean, the Mrs. Puff one has like 12 million views. That is crazy. Thank you guys so much. Now, this is the part of the video where I try to make you think I'm about to start the theory, but then, oh boy, a sponsor. Everyone loves those. But today, I'm actually sponsored by a company that I'm really excited to talk about. Happy Meat Farms is an animal farming company that offers farms out there. But Happy Meat Outdoor Space as an animal, what they stand for, go to Happy Meat Farms. Let's begin the theory.
Listen. Probably a W sponsor. Shout out all the cows out there. Yeah, fucking delicious. But listen. Time for the theories. Bah.
Goofy Goober's is an old-fashioned ice cream parlor that first appeared in the SpongeBob movie. It's the very definition of a fun, innocent place for children. So, how on earth did I come to the conclusion that it's actually an alien death cult? In fact, what even is an alien death cult? Usually, it's a religious group that wants you to believe that one day aliens will come to Earth and take the members of the cult to a better place. And in order to get there, they have to commit mass suicide. The most infamous example of this being Heaven's Gate. Like I said, this is going to be a very dark video with some serious subject matter. So, how does this have anything to do with Goofy Goobers? In the more recent seasons of SpongeBob, they've started referencing Goofy Goobers again. In fact, there's even an episode called The Goofy Newbie where Patrick gets a job there. And it's in this episode when Patrick is watching an employee training video that I first realized there was something more going on here.
The story of our ice cream begins with our founder, Reginald Goose, who for some unexplained reason was nicknamed Goose. In 1842, he headed west in a covered ice cream wagon. He served his warm ice cream on rods and sticks. From those humble beginnings, Goofy Goober has grown into a multi-billion-dollar business.
You know, it's a pretty standard company video. They just want their employees to wash their hands and keep their work area clean.
He only has to do one, practice good hygiene. Two, maintain good work habits.
Nothing out of the ordinary, except there's one more thing that they want you to do.
And three, believe in extraterrestrials.
This is one of the newer episodes, right? Because I ain't never see a flying Sunday. Ever. This one of the newer episodes, right? Because this gotta be because it's a flying Sunday. Huh?
Huh. An organization that wants you to believe in aliens. That couldn't be a Heaven's Gate reference in SpongeBob, could it? No, that's crazy. And even if it was, it could just be a random throwaway gag. There's no way Goofy Goobers is actually a cult, right? But then I started to rewatch every appearance of Goofy Goobers, and things took on a whole new meaning. One of the most basic ideas of a cult is that they strip you of your individuality and make you change your entire identity to be about the cult. And that's exactly what Goofy Goobers does. Everyone there wears Goofy Goober uniforms just like a cult. I mean, what other restaurant has not just employees, but customers that always dress up in a specific way? And their theme song that is constantly repeated and reinforced is just the simple line,
I'm a Goofy Goober, yeah. You're a Goofy Goober, yeah. We're all Goofy Goobers, yeah.
I'm a Goofy Goober, you're a Goofy Goober, we're all Goofy Goobers. It is literally just a song saying that your whole identity is based around Goofy Goobers, and that's it. And in the SpongeBob movie, there's a scene where SpongeBob and Patrick have to try their best to not sing along to the theme song, and it literally causes them intense pain to not sing along. It's as if they've been brainwashed and physically can't stop themselves from singing it. And you can't even just chalk this up to SpongeBob and Patrick being weirdos. Two other fish can't stop themselves from singing along, even though it means they'll get beat up for it.
Okay.
Damn.
And just like how many cults have an icon or god that they worship, Goofy Goobers has the dancing peanut mascot that's all over the restaurant's branding. I mean, just look at how excited all the kids are when he comes out.
Goofy Goober!
Hold on.
Alright, but just because kids like a mascot doesn't mean that they have some kind of religious worship for them. Well, if you don't believe me, take it from SpongeBob himself.
Open your eyes, Patrick! We blow bubbles to eat ice cream. We worship a dancing peanut for corn's sake.
We do not worship him.
Patrick, you've been wearing the same goofy goober peanut party underpants for 3 years straight. What do you call that?
Worship?
In the Sponge
For 3 years. Oh man, wait. Oh man, hold on. Nah, this is making a lot of sense. This nigga, he be breaking shit down to a freaking science, and it's low key scary. Cause like, why? I I don't know about this.
SpongeBob movie video game, there's even a Goofy Goober token that reads, "In Goofy we trust," replacing the word God with Goofy. Things are looking awfully culty, aren't they? Cults will also often create reading material about their beliefs for their followers to read, and Goofy Goobers is no exception to this. In the new SpongeBob spin-off, The Patrick Star Show, we see a Goofy Goober employee reading some kind of book about ice cream. And look at him, he's not busy working, he's choosing to read this in his downtime. I mean, compare him to Squidward, who sometimes reads in his downtime at work. It's not like he's reading about the Krusty Krab. This book looks a lot like it's a doctrine for a cult's beliefs. A major part of how cults get so successful is by getting their followers to give them money. Now, obviously Goofy Goobers charges people for ice cream, but they actually convince their followers to trade their money for a made-up Goofy Goober currency.
I don't know what Plankton's paying you, but if you let us go, I can make it worth your while.
What is this?
That, sir, is $5 goober dollars. Legal tender at any participating Goofy Goober.
This would explain how the Goofy Goober founder, an idiot who sold ice cream on rocks and sticks, turned the company into a multi-billion-dollar franchise. He convinced people to believe that aliens would one day take them to a better place and got them to give him all their money. Another tactic that cults use to indoctrinate people is overloading them with compliments and making them feel special, and that's exactly what Goofy Goobers does to Patrick when he gets a job there. The tranny video says that they appreciate him.
Hello and welcome. As a new Goofy Goober employee, we'd like you to know that we appreciate you.
And then his manager says the exact same thing.
I'm your manager, and I want you to know that I appreciate you.
And then despite Patrick messing up and causing chaos, the manager says it once again.
I'll give you another chance tomorrow. If it doesn't work out,
I'm afraid you fired.
in the most appreciative way.
There is no reason for the manager to be this appreciative of Patrick after all the terrible work he's done. He's just trying to emotionally manipulate him. The tactic is especially effective on vulnerable people like children, and we see this in the Patrick Star Show. Not only did Patrick start eating Goofy Goober ice cream when he was young, and eventually ended up working there and worshiping their god, but this green kid also grew up to become an employee at Goofy Goobers.
Really?
There's a clear pattern here.
Wait a minute. Nah, this is making a little too much sense, bro. Hold on, bro. I ain't gonna cap. This is making a lot of sense.
Kids who eat the ice cream all eventually join the cult. They are specifically targeting children for indoctrination, but their manipulation goes far beyond just psychological tactics. Trust me, we've just scratched the surface of how far Goofy Goobers will go to brainwash its members. Things are about to get darker.
Ah, kitty. Don't eat the ice cream. I kind of want ice cream now, though. I'm definitely gonna go to DQ.
There's a part in the SpongeBob movie where SpongeBob and Patrick go to Goofy Goobers and eat tons of ice cream all night to the point where they become completely drunk off of it. It's a really funny scene, but it begs the question, why does the ice cream get them drunk? Maybe that's just how ice cream works in the SpongeBob universe, and it's the show's way of making a family-friendly alcohol reference. But we've seen other instances where characters eat tons of ice cream and it doesn't have this effect on them. Alright, well, maybe this was just a one-time gag for the movie, and it's not a consistent part of the continuity. But in the Season 11 episode, Call the Cops, we get this scene.
One too many Goofy Goobers again, eh, Patrick?
Huh?
So, another deliberate reference to Goofy Goober ice cream having a weird alcoholic effect on people. Is it possible that they put something in the ice cream to make people more open to cult indoctrination? Cults have been known to use drugs to keep their followers obedient and suggestible, one of the most infamous examples of this being Charles Manson, who used LSD to convince his followers of his beliefs. If this is the case with Goofy Goobers, they'd probably want to make sure everyone there eats as much ice cream as possible, and the Goofy Goober building is actually cleverly designed in a way to ensure that this happens. There are no windows in the entire building, so you can't tell whether it's day or night. And the Goofy Goober clock just has random numbers on it, so it's impossible to keep track of time. Because of this, SpongeBob eats ice cream all night and is actually late for work for the very first time. Also, can I point out the fact that the eyes on the clock seem to follow Patrick around in the Goofy Newbie? It's a really creepy and specific detail to include. I mean, we know from the movie that the eyes are usually supposed to be looking straight ahead, but here they're always watching Patrick, their next target for indoctrination. Now, if the ice cream is what keeps their followers in line, they definitely want to make sure their employees were eating as much as possible. And it turns out, Goofy Goobers actually has a policy about this.
Wow, I can't believe Goofy Goober's employees get to eat all the ice cream they want on this job.
The employees get to eat all the ice cream they want. Very interesting. And there's evidence to suggest that the ice cream can do a lot more than just make you suggestible. At the beginning of the Goofy Newbie, Patrick is holding up the line asking for samples of ice cream. The employee he's talking to gets frustrated and calls for security to kick him out.
You sampled every flavor we have. Will you please just pick one?
I would like you to use my spoon.
Security, we have a sample booth at the counter.
But there's something oddly familiar about this employee. Hang on a second. Isn't that Patrick's sister? The new spin-off, The Patrick Star Show, is a prequel to the main show that introduces us to Patrick's little sister, Squidina. And here, we see her all grown up.
Wait, hold on. What the fuck? I gotta see these new episodes, because this shit is blowing my... First of all, Patrick got a sister? I thought his big sister was Sam. Well, I thought either Sam or Pam. I knew he had a sister. Right? But I didn't... Who is this? Who is this? It's...
Goobers. She's even credited as Squidina and has the same voice actor. In The Patrick Star Show, we actually do see her eating Goofy Goober ice cream as a kid, which fits with the pattern of kids who eat the ice cream eventually getting indoctrinated.
Damn, it's even to the point where she's not. If she's... Nah, cast of Goofy Goober, the Goofy Newbie, Squidina. Wow. So it's literally the same person. Like, even down to the poison, even down to the person that voice acts it, it's all the same person. Nah, that's crazy. So, like, I ain't gonna cap. I thought when he said that it was his sister was kind of a reach. It's really not.
And has the same voice actor. In The Patrick Star Show, we actually do see her eating Goofy Goober ice cream as a kid, which fits with the pattern of kids who eat the ice cream eventually getting indoctrinated into the cult. Now, Squidina and Patrick have a very close, loving relationship in The Patrick Star Show, but here, they act like they're total strangers. It's not surprising that Patrick would forget his own sister, but Squidina is always portrayed as being smart. It's almost like she completely forgot about him. One of the biggest tactics that cults use to indoctrinate people is isolating them from their friends and family to make them more vulnerable and dependent on the cult. And that's exactly what we're seeing here with Squidina. She has no memory of her family. The ice cream might just be affecting her memory as well. I mean, if she was just meant to be some random reusable character here with no continuity, why would the creators go out of their way to specifically credit her as Squidina, unlike the other random employees who are just credited as employee? Feels like they're deliberately trying to draw attention to it. At the end of the Goofy Newbie, Patrick goes crazy and eats a ton of the ice cream, and then the episode ends in a very interesting way. Now, I don't think Patrick was actually abducted by aliens. I mean, we see him on Earth in the very next episode, and the UFO has the same fake look as the one in the training video. I think that because of all the ice cream he ate, he now fully accepts the Goofy Goober's beliefs, and it's caused him to hallucinate the UFO. So, at this point, I'd say we can make a very strong case for Goofy Goobers being a cult, but with this realization comes a very dark and tragic new meaning for the SpongeBob movie. Believe me, you will never look at that movie the same way again.
Okay, so before you keep going, do I even want to? I really love the SpongeBob movie. Okay, I love the SpongeBob movie. I think it's such a good movie. You know what I'm saying? First time I seen it, and they were, about to die at the end, and they were all dried up, and they cried, and their little tears combined, and you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, I shed a little tear myself. I was waiting on my tear to combine with somebody else's, you know what I'm saying? Friendship type shit. So, I mean, you right, Skull, I am in too deep, but like, I don't know if I'm prepared to have this movie ruined for me. On what extent? I need to see on what extent it's ruined. Because, like, if this whole... Damn it. Alright, come on. We too far in. Damn! First of all, Alex, what's in your damn garage? Oh, it's in your basement now? Are you feeding this thing animals? Oh, Lord.
The 2004 SpongeBob movie is my favorite thing to come out of the franchise. It's funny, it's emotional, and it encapsulates everything great about SpongeBob. In this movie, SpongeBob goes on a journey of self-discovery and realizes that he doesn't need to change who he is and grow up to fit into society. He just has to embrace his inner kid and be himself. It's a great message that feels really fitting for the character. But if you replace the word kid with Goofy Goober, SpongeBob's arc takes on a whole new meaning. It's not about SpongeBob embracing being himself. It's about SpongeBob fully accepting the indoctrination and beliefs of the Goofy Goober cult. The movie starts with SpongeBob not getting promoted to manager of the new Krusty Krab, a job that he desperately wanted and believed that he would get. When he finds out that Squidward got chosen instead of him, it completely destroys him. Cults will target vulnerable people who are at extremely low points, and the first place that SpongeBob goes to after having his heart broken is Goofy Goobers. After a night of getting drunk off of ice cream, he becomes resentful of Mr. Krabs and decides to tell him off.
I deserve that manager's job, but you didn't give it to me, because you say I'm a kid. Well, I am 100% man, and this man has got something to say to you.
In fact, if King Neptune didn't interrupt and try to kill Mr. Krabs, SpongeBob probably would have quit and been fully able to join the cult. SpongeBob and Patrick go on a quest to retrieve Neptune's crown, and it's almost like every obstacle they face along the way is specifically designed to make SpongeBob and Patrick realize the dark truth about Goofy Goobers, but they fail to do so at every turn. They first stop at this tough guy bar that's full of men who beat up anyone that isn't manly enough.
Okay. Wait, nah, this is wait.
But I think there's actually a lot more going on here than it seems. This place actually has an insane amount of similarities to the Goofy Goober ice cream parlor. They're both shaped like boats, they both have bikes out front and a bar inside, and they both have two-word titles that start with the same letter, Goofy Goobers and Thug Tug. Is it possible that this place is actually a former Goofy Goobers establishment that was abandoned? I mean, they literally have the Goofy Goober theme song on hand.
Oh! Wait, nah, wait. The fuck a minute. Wait a minute, no. Stop making sense, because this is pissing me off. Nah, bro. Nah, bro, because wait, nah. Because this is making too much sense, and it is... Nigga, I don't know if I want to be a... Oh, my God. This is making mad sense, bro. Oh, my God.
SpongeBob, it's the Goofy Goober theme song.
And they claim that no kids are allowed here, yet we see some old kid-sized handprints in the bathroom. If this really is a former Goofy Goobers, then these guys would probably know the truth about the cult, which would explain why they're so against having anyone who's not manly in the bar. It's not because they hate kids, it's because they're trying to keep out a dangerous cult. If SpongeBob and Patrick just stuck around a little longer, maybe they would have learned this too, but they quickly sneak out and even make fun of the tough guys at the bar.
Come on, Pat, one more time.
Okay. We're on a baby hunt. I don't think we don't know how to weed them out.
Clearly, they didn't get the lesson they were supposed to from this place. Then they go through a fish graveyard and stop at a random ice cream stand, but it turns out it was actually a trap for a monster to lure unsuspecting victims.
Okay, Patrick, you can let go now.
An ice cream store that's a facade for something darker that lures people in and keeps them trapped. It's like the ocean is literally screaming the truth to SpongeBob and Patrick, but they just aren't getting it. But then they reach an obstacle that's just too great for them to pass, and it makes them reevaluate some things about themselves.
We're not.
Wow!
Open your eyes, Patrick! We worship a dancing peanut for corn's sake! You've been wearing the same Goofy Goober peanut party underpants for 3 years straight!
Oh, you're right, SpongeBob!
It isn't until Mindy helps them realize that they're more than just Goofy Goober kids that they can continue on their journey. They sing an entire song about how they believe in themselves now, and Patrick even says this.
Now that we're men...
I changed my underwear.
Okay!
Finally broken free from the cult's indoctrination, but unfortunately, it doesn't last very long. They're stopped by a hitman Plankton hired to take them out, and he completely destroys all the progress they've made to grow as characters.
Step aside and you won't have to feel the awesome...
Nah, this is crazy, bro.
They were fake?
Of course they were fake!
They end up getting abducted by a scuba diver who, to them, is a terrifying alien from another world, which is an interesting parallel to Reginald Goober being taken by aliens. They're taken to Shell City in a room full of dead fish, a place eerily similar to a death cult after a mass suicide. While SpongeBob and Patrick are being dried to death, they decide to fully embrace the Goofy Goober's beliefs and spend their last moments alive singing the Goofy Goober theme song.
Bruh, hold up.
But then, just like death cults always promise, they and everyone in the room are reborn when the sprinkler system turns on. Whew, this is, it's getting real dark. Then we get to the climactic finale of the movie. SpongeBob returns to the Krusty Krab, now a changed man. He has to battle Plankton and his army of mind-controlled slaves, and this is how the final confrontation plays out.
And if I've learned anything during that time...
Nah, this is crazy.
Who you are. So yeah, I'm a kid, and I'm also a goofball, and a wingnut, and a knucklehead McSpagatron!
What's going on here?
Plankton!
Hey, settle down. Take it easy. What the scallop? I'm a Goofy Goober!
I'm a Goofy Goober. On first watch, this is such a satisfying and cathartic moment for SpongeBob. But in reality, this is the moment that he has gone past the point of no return and becomes a Goofy Goober. Now, this is normally when I pretend like the video was over and then surprise you with a last-minute twist, but I don't need to pretend this time. If you think this entire video has been insane rambling and none of this could possibly be intentional, well then just for you, I have saved my best piece of evidence for last. Are you ready? While SpongeBob sings the Goofy Goober song, we cut to him standing on the world and getting abducted by a UFO. And even the UFO's lights make a pattern of red, yellow, red, which is eerily similar to the Goofy Goober UFO that has 2 red cherries with a yellow banana in the middle. And that is the Goofy Goober alien death cult theory.
Damn!
Wow. Didn't think I could, make these theories any darker, could ya? Gotta love that good old family-friendly, PG-rated SpongeBob. I am having so much fun making these videos. Don't worry, we've got plenty more on the way. I'm just making SpongeBob stuff from now on. I've been your host, Alex the SpongeBob Guy. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.
Damn. So what you did with this cat? What happened?
Hey, I'm gonna assume you're still down here. I thought about what you asked, and I'm sorry, I just can't. I mean, it's one thing to buy you meat, but a living animal, like a cat, that's not a line that I'm willing to cross. And if that means you're not gonna give me SpongeBob theories anymore, then so be it. But honestly, man, good luck finding someone else that's gonna be willing to be a part of whatever this weird relationship is between us. Come on, I know you can hear me.
Oh shit. Oh shit. What the fuck is... It went upstairs and ate the cat!
What did you do?
My boy, I took what you brought me.
No, but I changed my mind. I didn't give you the cat.
You purchased the cat. You brought it to this home. I simply finished the job.
No, this is not what I wanted, okay? This isn't worth it. We are fucking done.
My boy, we both know you can't go back now.
Okay, this is the last time, and then I want you out of this house.
Whoa! What the fuck was that? What was that? What was that? You saw that, chat? Hold on. Bitch. Look at the motherfucker. Look at the motherfucking tentacles. Oh, nah. Damn. W fucking theory. But that shit is crazy. I ain't gonna cap. You too, what's good? What's going on with you? It's your girl Simba, and it is time for another reaction, okay? Today we are checking out SpongeBob Conspiracy number 7, the robot invasion theory. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. Mr. Bale, I thought you was capping, my good sir. I thought this was cap. I thought you was throwing us, you was hoodwinking us like you've been doing on Twitter. But this is an actual video, you know what I'm saying? So we finna check it out. Listen, before we do that though, smash the like button. Make sure you're subscribing if you're new. Also, turn on notifications so you don't miss any future uploads. Then after that, come over to the Twitch. Come vibe with the dark side. SimbaThaGod Live. Hit that follow button. I really appreciate it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. All right, SpongeBob, the robot invasion. Get into it. Get into it, yeah.
All right. So I admit it. Some of my theories have been a little crazy lately. I mean, Goofy Goober, alien death cult theory, Pearl's dead mother theory. Let's maybe try and.
Hey DJ, thank you for the 100 bits.
Let's go.
Let's go.
There is a secret robot invasion happening in Bikini Bottom. Everywhere you look, robots have integrated themselves into society, kidnapping and replacing people with robot cyborgs, waiting for their chance to rise up and start the robot apocalypse. This is not a joke. I repeat, the robots are coming. The robots are coming.
This is the robot invasion theory.
W theory. How long has it been? Like 30 minutes, fam. A boy done grew out his hair. Okay. I see you. Out here looking spicy.
Alex. Oh. Sorry, what? You okay, dude?
Yeah, sorry, I've just got a lot on my mind lately.
How's the, SpongeBob theorizing going?
It's good. It's good. I'm actually thinking about maybe stopping.
Why? They're huge.
Yeah, I mean, people watch them. It's just, I didn't go to film school for 3 years just to make SpongeBob theories forever.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just something you're doing now. Doesn't mean you have to do them, like, forever.
It's easy for you to say. I mean, what, you're a year out of film school and you're already directing commercials?
Yeah, but I didn't go to film school to make commercials either. It's just something I'm doing for now. I like SpongeBob theories.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, these videos also just, they take a lot to make. Not sure if I'm up for it anymore.
Dude, up for it? You just like watching cartoons all day. That sounds awesome. I would kill to have as many followers as you, man. I'd be set. I've been trying to get my film funded for months, and I still have nothing to show for it. You know, sounds like a pretty sweet gig you got there. But...
Okay.
Hey, it's time for another SpongeBob conspiracy.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. His film school thing is really what's, you know what I'm saying? It's working, bruh. It's working, bruh, because you're going stupid on these. I ain't gonna lie.
Wow, I just realized I've been making SpongeBob videos for over a year now.
Oh.
Definitely did not think that I'd still be making these a year later. But it's all worth it, right? Because you guys love them, and I love making them, and they're super easy to make. The sponsor. Time to talk about today's sponsor. Do you like intense action?
I know you're trying to get your money, but they ain't paying me, honey. So I gotta skip your sponsor, but I'm proud of you, bro. Get that bag gang. Get your bag gang. Get your bag. Get your bag. Dolly so soon, Dolly so soon. I wanna go to the moon. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I kinda killed that, chat. What y'all think? Hey. I kinda killed that. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Belle, Bella, ain't no way you the first person hating on me. Come on.
One of my favorite episodes of SpongeBob is the season 3 episode Crab Boy. SpongeBob watches a scary robot.
Will. Thank you for the tier 1 gifted. You a W man. Facts. W vocals. All of them just hating.
Movie, then gets super paranoid about robots taking over, and even kidnaps Mr. Krabs.
What? You think I'm a robot? We don't think, we know.
It's a really funny episode, but
He said-
I can't help but wonder if
Wait,
SpongeBob's
he said, SpongeBob, you gotta ask him a question first. Oh yeah. What color are my underwear? love that episode.
Fears might be a bit more justified than we thought. In the episode SB129, we get our first glimpse of the future of Bikini Bottom, 2,000 years later.
Okay, what's going on here?
Future.
Chrome.
Everything is chrome in the
Future. Hey, Will, thank you for the 100 bits.
Replaced with robotic people.
SpongeBob, is that you?
SpongeBob? No! I am SpongeTron.
And this isn't the only time we see a future full of robots. In the season 7 episode Back to the Past, SpongeBob time travels to an alternate future where Man Ray takes over, and once again, people have been replaced by robots. And then, in the second SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, there's a deleted scene where SpongeBob and Plankton go to the future and see this.
We did it! I wonder when we are. Excuse me, sir. Do you know what year this is? Cyborgs? We didn't go back in time. We went front in time.
And there's even foreshadowing in episodes that take place in the present. In the Krusty Krab training video, we hear this.
Well, luckily for you, Mr. Krab's fear of robot overlords keeps the balance of technology in check.
And in Insecurity Guards, we can see an exhibit that clearly shows the evolution of SpongeBob eventually getting taken over by robots. Okay, so there seems to be a lot of evidence for the future of Bikini Bottom being taken over by robots. But honestly, why does any of this matter? I mean, robots ruling the world is a pretty common depiction of the future in lots of different media. And even if this is the canonical future of the show, it's at the very...
Hey. Will, what you doing? Thank you for the tear. Oh, wait, hold on. Will, thank you for the 2 gifts that I appreciate that. Ooh. Will, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate you, gang. Thank you for the 2 gifted. If everybody say thank you, Will. You know what I'm saying? I would say put some Wills in the chat, but like you already got a W in front of your name, so it's kind of like, you know.
Very least thousands
But put some Wills in the chat.
It's not like we can already see this robot invasion happening in present-day Bikini Bottom, right? Here's an interesting question about SpongeBob that's always bothered me. Why are there so many robots in the show? And I'm not talking about Sandy or Plankton's inventions. It makes sense for them to have robots since they're both genius inventors. But why do hospitals and office buildings and amusement parks and Weenie Hut Juniors and many, many more places have such advanced robots? I mean, let's ignore the fact that they're underwater and robots wouldn't really make sense down here. Bikini Bottom isn't like a super advanced society, right? You wouldn't really say that they have much futuristic technology, except when it comes to robots. But why? And what's even stranger is that there are many, many instances where these robots suddenly turn evil. The first time I really started to notice this was in the season 7 episode Tunnel of Glove. SpongeBob and Pearl get trapped in a Glove World boat ride that's full of animatronics. Patrick tries to set them free by breaking into the control room, but accidentally causes all the animatronics to suddenly turn evil and attack SpongeBob. Now, this is a pretty basic cartoon trope. Someone accidentally breaks the controls, then the robot malfunctions and turns evil. This isn't really all that weird for SpongeBob. Except, what's strange about this is that Patrick doesn't break any controls. He hits a button labeled Animatronic Override, and that's what causes the robots to turn evil.
I'll just gingerly lean on this wall. Huh?
Override? What is it? Why do you have a button sitting there?
The robots were intentionally designed to have a button that makes them
Yeah, why do you have that button just sitting there?
Then, in the episode Good Neighbors, Squidward discovers a flyer for a home security system that's suspiciously free despite it clearly being very advanced. After he sets it up, his house suddenly grows arms and legs and starts destroying Bikini Bottom.
What the hell? In a way, his house just kicked him out.
Destroying the neighborhood.
Now, to be fair, this was a malfunction caused by SpongeBob, but why would a simple home security system have giant arms and legs? I mean, the malfunction didn't create them, they were clearly already installed. They eventually do manage to stop the house, but what's really creepy about this is that we can still see signs of Squidward's house being sentient after this episode. Then, in the season 11 episode Krusty Cleaners,
I don't know if you're really persuasive or this is really convincing. This is like some real foolproof evidence right here. I don't know which one it is, but it's starting to make sense in my head.
SpongeBob and Patrick go to an office building and encounter a trash cleaning robot. The robot immediately attacks them for causing a mess.
Oh, my rump is roasting!
But this time, there's no malfunction that causes this. It's working exactly as intended. Not only does the trash robot have a buzzsaw and a literal laser cannon, but it also turns all of the nearby machines into killer robots to help hunt down SpongeBob and
What the
Patrick. So, where are all these places getting these super advanced robots? And more importantly, why are they all being programmed to suddenly turn evil? This is a question that stumped me for a while, until I watched the season 11 episode, My Leg. This is the episode where I truly realized there was an actual conspiracy theory here and not just cartoon antics. It's time we finally find out who is behind the robot invasion.
Is it the My Leg guy? I wanna go to the how to get a giant tentacle monster outside. Hey, listen. I told y'all last theory. I said last theory. I said the giant tentacle monster that's in his house is a squid. Like Squidward type thing. I already told y'all. We already know what it is, chat. We already know what it is. Right, gang? Right, gang? We know. What's up, Simmons Cheeks? Yeah, you should have been picked up the big one. You gonna show us what it looked like, gang?
I'm still serious about you leaving this house. It's not that I don't appreciate everything you've done for me, it's just I think we want very different things.
Oh, hell no.
You know, I don't want it to come to this, but I will use force if I have to, so you better go.
The Master Mino?
The episode My Leg focuses on the reoccurring gag of this one fish always injuring his leg throughout the show.
My leg! My leg! My leg!
At one point in the episode, he goes to a hospital and meets a robot that works there. It's just a small throwaway gag. The robot never turns evil or does anything strange.
Don't take my leg! Don't take my leg!
But there's something awfully familiar about the robot's design. Let's go all the way back to the season 3 episode Plankton's Army, which opens with Plankton trying to steal the Krabby Patty's secret formula with a robot disguise.
You never know what trick he'll use to steal me secret Krabby Patty formula.
What a quaint restaurant. I think I will sample their wares.
These robots have an uncanny similarity, right down to the same tie. Okay, but maybe we could just chalk this up to the showrunners being lazy and reusing assets. But SpongeBob has always had a pretty diverse amount of robot designs throughout the show. And it's not like this is a direct copy-paste either. They went to the effort to redesign the face and colors, but it was still clearly based on Plankton's robot. So here's my theory. Plankton has built many robots to try and steal the Krabby Patty secret formula, but I think after he fails to do so, he doesn't just throw them away. He redesigns the robots and then gives them to different businesses in Bikini Bottom with the intention to one day use them to take over the world once he has enough in place. I mean, we know what Plankton...
That actually makes a lot of sense. Well, I wouldn't say give them away, but probably sells them to fund his, because listen. Boom, 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 boom. All right, so boom, right? He probably doesn't give them away, but he probably sells them, right? Because how else is he funding himself? People don't eat at his fucking restaurant. So how else is he funding his giant lab, his business? You know what I'm saying? There's no way he's funding that unless he's selling those same robots. So he's not giving away, he's selling them. But he still has like full, you know what I'm saying? Oh, that's okay. Talk that talk.
Redesigned the face and colors, but it was still clearly
Talk
based
that
on
talk.
Plankton's robot. So here's my theory. Plankton has built many robots to try and steal the Krabby Patty secret formula, but I think after he fails to do so, he doesn't just throw them away. He redesigns the robots and then gives them to different businesses in Bikini Bottom with the intention to one day use them to take over the world once he has enough in place. I mean, we know what Plankton really wants isn't the secret formula, it's to rule the world.
I will rule the world!
And there's even the video game, Battle for Bikini Bottom, where Plankton tried to take over using an army of robots. So, this theory doesn't seem too far-fetched for Plankton's character, but we're gonna need a lot more evidence if we're gonna prove he's the one behind all the robots in Bikini Bottom. So, let's get started. In the Season 3 episode, No Weenies Allowed, we see a robot working at a place called Weenie Hut Juniors.
Would you care for another Diet Cola with a lemon twist, Weenie?
And while it doesn't resemble any of the robots we've seen Plankton make, does that voice sound familiar to you?
Would you care for another Diet Cola with a lemon twist? What a quaint restaurant. I think I will sample their wares.
And again, it's not like this is the default robot voice we hear in SpongeBob. There are many different voices the show has used for robot characters.
What a quaint restaurant.
Greetings, I am Robo 2.1. No threat detected.
This is very uncomfortable.
Leave my father alone!
But here, they specifically recreated the voice from Plankton's robot. Let's go back to Glove World for a second. In the control room, we see a machine on the wall that looks shockingly like SpongeBob.
Like the
so much so that Patrick even mistakes him for it. We know Plankton has built a SpongeBob robot before in Welcome to the Chum Bucket. Maybe he repurposed it here inside of Glove World.
What?
In Krusty Cleaners, the trash
Wait a
robot
minute, bro.
also has a striking resemblance to Plankton's robot in the Season 9 episode Eek and Urchin. In the Season 5 episode The Patty Gadget, Squidward tries to get SpongeBob fired by replacing him with a machine that creates Krabby Patties for free. But it's never explained where Squidward got this machine. Now, it doesn't resemble anything we've seen Plankton make, but a staple in a lot of Plankton's inventions is having them resemble his likeness, especially with one eye in the middle, and that's exactly what we see with the Patty Gadget. And the patties it makes are terrible, which would make sense for something Plankton made. In the episode All That Glitters, SpongeBob buys a super advanced talking spatula.
Le Spatula 3000 at your service.
But in the episode Evil Spatula, we find out Plankton has a whole collection of advanced spatulas just like this one, and even tries to trick SpongeBob into taking a talking spatula. It seems like no matter where we turn, we can find a connection between the technology in Bikini Bottom and Plankton. But if you remember in those glimpses of the future, the world isn't just ruled by robots. They've actually replaced all the existing citizens with robot copies.
Bro.
I am SpongeTron.
And believe it or not, this is also something we can already see happening in Bikini Bottom today. Get ready to see how far this robot invasion has really gone.
Nah, this is crazy. Hold up, bro.
Hey,
Hey.
Victoria, what are you doing here?
I was just around, thought I'd stop by. Can I come in? Or
Inside? No, it's not a good time right now.
Man, got a whole knife.
in all honesty, it kind of seems like you're going through something. I just wanted to check in on you.
I appreciate that. It's just, I'm fine, you know.
Hold on, Chad, I'm still here. Give me a second.
SpongeBob stuff has been keeping me really busy. I'm a little stressed about that, and
You want to smash?
But I'm fine. You should probably go.
What do you mean by that?
Being really weird. You're not answering your phone. You're living in total darkness. You just talk to me. What's going on?
Okay, fine. Okay, we can talk. Just not here.
Fine. Do you want to get coffee or something?
Sure, fine. Yeah. I gotta put something away. Just stay right here.
Coffee. You know. Trust no one. Uh-oh.
Now, we know Plankton has tried to turn people into robots before.
SpongeBob, come in here. Or should I say Robot Bob?
But he gave up after SpongeBob
Robot
was too
Bob
annoying.
Scrooge Pants.
Take that yellow nightmare back. It's not worth it.
But I don't think this was his only attempt. In the Season 11 episode, The Checkup, SpongeBob and Squidward are trying to give Mr. Krabs a health checkup by testing his pinching reflexes.
Okay, I brought plenty of things for Mr. Krabs to pinch. A pinch of salt.
And one of the things they have him pinch is a baby.
A baby's cheek. Lucky that was a robot baby.
Some random baby just turned out to be a robot, and it's never explained why. That's weird even for SpongeBob. But things get even more interesting when we go back to Season 9 in the episode Plankton's Pet, where Plankton tries to steal a Krabby Patty using the exact same purple baby as a robot disguise.
that diabolical fiend?
I can't believe this is working.
And we're not even done yet. If we go even further
What
back to the
the
season
fuck?
5 episode Goo Goo Gas, we can actually see the exact moment where Plankton gets the idea to turn the baby into a robot.
Why, you're so tiny and helpless, I could take your formula whenever I wanted to, and you couldn't do a thing about it.
That's it! Finally, victory will be mine.
Wait.
Now, in the episode, it's implied that this is just him getting the idea to turn everyone into babies to steal the formula, but isn't it crazy how it also perfectly lines up with the purple baby fish suddenly turning into a robot in future episodes? Now, there's another fish who's always been very suspicious to me, the strangely realistic news anchor fish.
Oh.
Bikini Bottom is abuzz over the identity of a mysterious flying man who helps people. Who knows what superhero act of courage he'll astound us with next?
In a show full of cartoon characters, why is he the only realistic one? In fact, I made a whole theory about how there are evolved cartoony fish that can talk, and primitive realistic fish who can't. But as many people have pointed out, the one exception to this is the realistic news anchor fish.
Yeah.
Well, if you ask me, he looks a lot like one of those animatronic singing fish you buy in a gift shop. Especially the way he mechanically moves his mouth and how we only ever see one side of him. So, already a pretty strong indication that he might be a robot, but there's also something familiar about his voice.
What kind of cruel, careless, evil person? I'll canvass all the seediest lowbrow dives in town.
That's
Oh
right.
my god. Hey, nah, this is making a lot of, this is making too much sense. This is making too much sense, bro. What the fuck? No, it's... No.
Careless, evil person. I'll canvass all the seediest lowbrow dives in town.
That's right, he has the same voice as Plankton. And if you're gonna take over the world, then you're definitely gonna want to control the media. But how exactly is Plankton replacing these people with robots? Well, I think the season 10 episode Whirly Brains gives us an important clue. In this episode, suddenly a new toy becomes extremely popular in Bikini Bottom, the Whirly Brain.
Whirly Brain?
Attach the propeller and watch your brain soar hundreds of feet into the air.
Yeah, it's a weird episode. So people are actually voluntarily attaching devices to their brains and ripping them out of their bodies, and no one thinks that this is suspicious? If you ask me, this seems like the perfect way to replace someone with a robot. Remember, in Welcome to the Chum Bucket, Plankton told us how he turns people into robots.
I'll be forced to remove your brain and implant it in my robot chef.
By removing their brains. But is there any proof that he's the one behind the Whirly Brain toys? Let's take a look at the new SpongeBob prequel, The Patrick Star Show. Every once in a while, the show cuts to this stop-motion parody of Frankenstein with Plankton, and he actually uses Whirly Brains to conduct his experiments. It's not super clear how this all connects to the main show. I mean, we do see Patrick interact with the stop-motion Plankton at some point, so they're at least in the same universe, but regardless, it's still a solid connection. We see another head-based gadget in the season 11 episode Bottle Burglars, an invisible helmet being advertised in a magazine for only 99 cents. And in the same episode, we see Plankton using the exact same helmet.
Crabs will never see me coming in Vizos.
Now, maybe this is just implying that he bought the helmet from the magazine, but that doesn't really line up with what we know about Plankton as an inventor. Plus, I can't see them selling a tiny version of the helmet just for Plankton. Seems a lot more likely that Plankton created the helmet and is selling them to the people of Bikini Bottom, possibly as a way to create more robots. Alright, so we're starting to get a pretty clear idea of how Plankton plans on turning the citizens of Bikini Bottom into robots. But there is one more character that I believe has already been secretly assimilated into a robot. And it's not some random background character either. It's one of the main characters in SpongeBob SquarePants. This final part of the robot invasion theory is going to completely change the way you look at the entire show. Are you ready?
Beep, boop, bop, boop. I think it's
Patrick Star theory.
Patrick? I thought it would have been Mr. Krabs. Nah, this is jam-packed right here.
Shit. Victoria?
Oh shit.
Victoria! Victoria!
Oh no. It's over. It's over. What's up, Divine?
Now, I fully realize saying Patrick is a robot is a very bold claim, but hold your judgments till the end. By far, the most requested theory I get on this channel is to cover Patrick's star, and more specifically, his inconsistent intelligence. Throughout the entire show, there are these little moments where Patrick suddenly says something smart.
I'm a bit more complicated than that. The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
And then immediately goes back to being dumb.
Or an enigma.
There's so many examples of this happening that many people have actually made their own theories about it. Is Patrick secretly a genius and just pretending to be dumb? Does he have a secret split personality?
I diagnosed Patrick Star with trauma-induced anxiety triggered spontaneously duplicative multi-intellectual DID with additional paranoid schizophrenic delusions of a mental multiverse.
Okay.
Maybe, but I've come to a bit of a different conclusion. Have you ever noticed how every time we see Patrick try to think, there's either sparks or smoke coming out of his head?
Or cogs running.
Patrick thinking again.
And almost every time we see inside of Patrick's head, it's represented with gears or some kind of machinery.
Yeah. Now,
we're supposed to assume that this is just a cartoony way to visualize thoughts, but what's strange is just how consistent they are with it. And even stranger, none of the other characters' thoughts are visualized this way.
Just got an order from the boss. Dump everything that isn't about fine dining. Squidward's Happy Gland is forced to take shelter in the recesses of his mind.
It's only Patrick who seems to have this robotic association with him. And just look at how detailed they are with it. While Patrick's head is sparking in Rule of Dumb, if you look closely, you can see a spring pop out of him, and even a hole left behind by the spring. That is such a small detail that no one would notice unless you were going frame by frame. And if this is just supposed to be a metaphor inside of Patrick's head, how come SpongeBob clearly sees the spring come out? Okay, so let's entertain the idea for a moment that Patrick might be some sort of robot. How would he have gotten converted, and why does this cause him to randomly become smart every once in a while?
Okay.
Well, I looked at all the scenes where Patrick suddenly does something smart, and I noticed a bit of a pattern. There are two different types of these moments. There are times when we think he's saying something intelligent.
Wait, SpongeBob! We're not cavemen! We
have technology.
But then it's revealed he's not actually being smart. This doesn't contradict his character at all. Patrick is someone who doesn't see himself as dumb, so there's lots of times when he tries to be smart, but he fails.
Dumb people are always blissfully unaware of how dumb.
But yo, you know what? He's right, because when he actually says some smart shit, his whole demeanor and voice changes. Nah, this is crazy. Nah, this is crazy. Nah, this is crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
Dumb they really are.
But there are also moments where he actually does do something undeniably smart.
Wait a minute, Squidward. They might be onto something.
We could filter the CO2 through our ballast tanks, refire the engines, and ride the shockwave out of here.
Wow.
He's right.
But then he immediately acts oblivious to the fact that he was being smart.
We're going through with your plan, Patrick.
Yo, this is crazy.
What plan?
So, I kept track of these two different types of moments, and it seems like after season 3 is when he suddenly switches from
Hey, thank you for the follow. What's up, bro?
pretending to be smart to actually having these smart moments. And this switch perfectly lines up with the season 4 episode, Patrick's Smarty Pants.
My mind
In this
is an
episode,
enigma.
Patrick falls off a cliff and gets his head knocked off. SpongeBob accidentally replaces his head with some brain coral, which makes him become a genius.
I find all this laughter to be highly illogical.
In the end, they switch back to his normal head and Patrick goes back to his usual stupid self. But take a closer look at the scene when he first puts on the brain coral.
Here's your head.
He has to twist it on. Oh, wait, so was he already a...
Now, Many people have interpreted these gears with cobwebs as a metaphor for Patrick's brain never being used until now, but these gears are not from Patrick's brain. His brain came off during the fall, which means these gears are entirely from the brain coral. And at the end of the episode, when they remove the brain coral, we can still see the electrical plug attached to it. We are no longer seeing a metaphorical representation inside of someone's head. We are seeing this plug from an outside perspective. The brain coral is just like the Whirly Brains, a robotic device that plugs into your brain to control you. Isn't it convenient that Patrick just happened to land next to a pile of coral that looked identical to his head? Is it possible that Plankton saw this as an opportunity to add another victim to his robot invasion? But after Patrick removed it, he went back to normal, right? He completely stopped Plankton's plan, right? Well, one season later, in the episode Sing a Song of Patrick, Patrick attempts to use his brain again, and we see the exact same gears inside of his head.
Come on, you stupid brain! Work!
The creators went out of their way to recreate the exact placement of all the gears from the brain coral, which means the head Patrick put on at the end of Patrick's Smarty Pants was not his head. It was another piece of robotic brain coral. But it seems like for whatever reason, this brain coral isn't as effective as the first one, and he's only able to have rare moments of genius. In the season 12 episode SpongeBob's Big Birthday Blowout, Patrick has another one of his smart moments.
Oh, would you look at the hour? It's almost time for me to take SpongeBob on that tour so you guys can decorate his house.
But this moment in particular is very interesting because Plankton is actually there to witness it. And take a guess how Plankton responds to him.
Wait.
I guess even a broken moron can be right once a day.
He calls Patrick a broken moron.
What do you mean by broken?
He knows Patrick is a broken one of his experiments. And if you still don't believe me, in the newest episode of season 13,
how does
we get...
No, this is a lot. Yo, this is a lot. This is a lot. Jesus. But it makes so much sense, bro.
This scene.
This stinks. I wanted to go backstage for an autograph.
Plankton.
SpongeBob, Sandy Cheeks, Mom, parking ticket. Plankton was here.
Was here. Yes, he certainly was. And that is the robot invasion theory. Thank you very much. Okay, robot invasion theory done. Hey, we just passed 500,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. This is honestly a dream come true for me. I mean, I've always wanted to have this many people watching me for SpongeBob theories. You guys wouldn't like all immediately unsubscribe and leave me if I stop making these, right? Thanks again for watching. I've been your host, the SpongeBob guy. I will see you. I'll see you guys. Bye.
W fucking theory. What happened?
Where's Victoria? Do not give me the silent treatment right now. I swear to God, if you did something, I'll...
Oh my God!
Victoria, where were you?
I was using your bathroom. Why the fuck are you pointing a knife at me?
Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, you cannot be here right now.
No, I am not leaving until you tell me what's going on.
Listen, I promise I will explain everything to you later. You cannot be in here.
Why are you so afraid of me being in your house?
Victoria, I promise you, this is not the time. We have to leave right now.
Your muse isn't gonna eat me!
Huh?
What? You mean the big tentacle monster in my basement?
Yeah.
How do you know about that?
I have one too.
What?
What?
Alex Bale, you done it again, bro. You done it again. Cause what the fuck? Now I need another video. Cause I need to know what the fuck she meant by that. Why does she have one? You two, what's good? What's going on? With your girl Simba, and it is time for another reaction. Okay, today we are checking out Alex Bale's SpongeBob Conspiracy 8. This is the time traveling ghost pirate theory. So without any further ado, let's get into it, man. Simple.
Alright, so this time, instead of ending with the big twist, I'm just gonna open with it. The Flying Dutchman is the ghost of Patchy the Pirate. This is a claim that makes absolutely no sense. They look different, they act different, and most importantly, Patchy the Pirate is alive at the same time we see the Flying Dutchman. It would be impossible to prove that they're the same person, right?
Facts, yeah.
Well, you know, I like a challenge. This is the time-traveling ghost pirate theory.
Time-traveling ghost pirate theory. That is a crazy name.
You mean the big tentacle monster in my basement?
Yeah.
How do you know about that?
I have one too. Crazy. That was a crazy twist. I ain't gonna lie.
So, when you say you have a muse, you mean you also have a creepy monster thing in your basement giving you SpongeBob theories?
Well, no, it didn't give me SpongeBob theories. It got me my commercial jobs.
I didn't even know there was more than one. I have like 1,000 questions right now. Like, what exactly are they? Where do they come from? What do they want?
Oh,
Whoa,
I probably don't know that much more
Hey, don't
than
judge
you.
me, don't judge me.
Mine just showed up in my house one day, and eventually it left.
Wait.
My bad, I'm
yours
fixing my
left? As in
green
you
screen.
Don't have a muse?
No. I just kept giving mine meat, it got me a permanent job, and then it left. Listen, I know they seem really weird and creepy at first, but honestly, they're just here to help.
But didn't you have to feed yours, like, more than just meat?
No. What have you been feeding yours?
Ooh. Mine ate a cat.
Hang on, you gave your muse a cat?
I didn't feed it the cat, okay? It was in my home and then it took it, okay? It wasn't my fault.
Okay, well, obviously you don't have a cat in your home when you have a muse. Listen, just keep giving it meat, and eventually it'll leave you with enough SpongeBob theories to last you for years.
Right, don't question it, bro. Don't question it, little bro. Just do what you need to do. You're out here questioning its integrity.
Hey, so I've been thinking about things and I'm willing to continue our relationship, but things have to be very different this time.
Okay.
No more eating living animals. Let's just stick to the store-bought meat, okay? Oh, okay. Great. Glad we're on the same page. You know, I'm sorry about all the shouting and the craziness. You know, I don't have anything against you personally. I think if we just communicated better, we could have, you know, avoided a lot of the issues that we were having. But I'm glad we finally have an understanding.
Oh! What the? Oh, he got a... What the fuck did he do? Did he get a taste of his blood,
the
or like
time-traveling ghost pirate theory? That's the
turn that nigga into one?
That's the real title we're going with. Sure, fine, whatever. Now, before we begin, I just want to say how thankful I am for all the support on these SpongeBob theories. These videos have definitely changed my life. So, to give a little bit back to the community, today I'd like to support a small independent company out there that you've probably never even heard of. That's why today's video is sponsored by a tiny little indie game called Raid Shadow Legends! Raid Shadow Legends is the most intense...
Hey, listen, I'm so happy for you. Get your bag, my boy. Get your bag. But what Simba not gonna do? What Simba not gonna do? What Simba not gonna do is watch this ad, my boy. But get your bag. You feel me? Get your bag. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it.
Before I get into how these characters connect, I have to explain the tragic backstory of Patchy the Pirate.
I'm Patchy the Pirate, president of the SpongeBob SquarePants Fan Club!
Patchy the Pirate is the president of the SpongeBob Fan Club, and they often cut to him during special episodes to host the show and talk to the audience. He fits in perfectly with my television theory, and clearly works for the in-universe SpongeBob SquarePants showrunners as some kind of mascot for the show.
Boring! Well, if it isn't my less than amusing sidekick, Patchy the Parrot.
Patchy is this weird, lonely guy whose only friend is a talking parrot who's constantly harassing him, and I'm also pretty sure Patchy wants to eat him.
Shiver me timbers, it's Patty! I wonder what parrot tastes like.
But that's not what this theory is about. If you rewatch all the episodes with Patchy, you start to notice a bit of a disturbing development with his character. Patchy has devoted his entire life to SpongeBob, but that devotion is very one-sided. And the more time that goes on, the more resentful Patchy becomes of SpongeBob. In the season 3 episode Party Pooper Pants, Patchy throws a house party and tries to invite SpongeBob, but he doesn't show up.
Say, you didn't bring SpongeBob with you, did you? Gee, I sure hope he got his invitation.
I'd sure like to go to this party, but I can't read the invitation.
But Patchy doesn't really seem to be that upset about it.
Ah, well.
But then things start to take a turn in the episode The Sponge Who Could Fly. Patchy follows a map and goes on a crazy adventure to find the legendary Lost SpongeBob episode, and after finally getting it, this is what plays.
Yo, this is my episode.
That's it?
That's it?
That's the lost episode? That was just a bunch of cheap walk cycles!
So, Patchy got let down by SpongeBob again, but I'm sure he'll get over it just like last time.
SpongeBob betrayed us! I'm sorry I ever started this stupid fan club in the first place!
Patchy has a full-on mental breakdown. Now, eventually he does find the real Lost episode and goes back to normal, but this is just the start of Patchy's transformation.
Oh my god, I forgot. Hold on. I forgot homie's room looked like this. Hold on. He was really damn, he was really SpongeBob's ride or die. He was really his ride or die, for real. Okay.
So, Patchy got let down by SpongeBob again, but I'm sure he'll get over it just like last time.
SpongeBob betrayed us! I'm sorry I ever started this stupid fan club in the first place!
Patchy has a full-on mental breakdown. Now, eventually he does find the real Lost episode and goes back to normal, but this is just the start of Patchy's transformation into a much darker character. In the season 6 episode Truth or Square, Patchy throws a massive television extravaganza to celebrate 10 years of SpongeBob. There is a ton of production value and celebrities that Patchy managed to get. There is no way SpongeBob would show up for it.
SpongeBob SquarePants! What do you mean he's not coming? 10 years I've been president in his fan club!
Patchy has dedicated 10 years of his life to SpongeBob, and he can't even be bothered to show up once. And this never even gets resolved in the episode either. Patchy tries to find SpongeBob, thinks he's about to meet him, but then it turns out it was all just a dream.
Mister, are you okay?
Oh, damn.
SpongeBob?
No, it's just me, the guy in the penny.
Patchy's one-sided obsession with SpongeBob is making him delusional, and this is by no means the last time Patchy will hallucinate meeting SpongeBob. In Atlantis SquarePantis, Patchy gets lost in the desert and once again hallucinates SpongeBob.
Uh-oh, here come the hallucinations.
It's me,
Nah, nasty.
But then, in SpongeBob's Big Birthday Blowout, it seems like he finally really does meet SpongeBob.
From your biggest fan. Huh? I have a fan?
I have a fan?
Surprise! It's Patchy the Pirate! Happy birthday, SpongeBob!
Thank you, Patchy.
But even if they don't explicitly say it, this is definitely another hallucination. It's right after he crashed into an island, and he's just a severed head for some reason, and he can breathe underwater. Yeah, I'm gonna say that this is a hallucination. They have another alleged meeting in SpongeBob's Road to Christmas special, but this time Patchy's fully animated for some reason.
What the hell? I never seen that
I'm
episode.
skeptical about this one too. In fact, I'm gonna come back to this one. Keep it in mind because it's gonna be very important later on.
I gotta get back into
as much as
SpongeBob.
Patchy worships SpongeBob and wants to meet him, he never will. And you don't have to take my word for it either. In a 2009 WonderCon panel with some of the actors and creators of SpongeBob, they talk about the rules they have for writing the show, including the fact that Patchy can never meet SpongeBob.
His character has evolved into this pirate that's obsessed with SpongeBob. Well, they can never meet. Right?
Well, yeah, they can never meet. There's a lot of rules in SpongeBob which are there for a reason. I think it's part of the success in a way.
From the very start of his creation, they doomed Patchy to be an obsessed fan who would never meet his idol. He will spend the rest of his life devoted to SpongeBob, but no matter how hard he tries, he will never reach Bikini Bottom, and he will never meet SpongeBob. And unfortunately, that is the tragic story of Patchy the Pirate.
That's
but
sad.
If all of that's true, then I just have one lingering question. How come the dumpster behind the Krusty Krab has a message that reads, Patchy was here? Don't go anywhere,
wow.
because the time-traveling ghost pirate theory is about to get crazy.
Oh, wow. I do remember that. I do remember that. Not the SpongeBob bandages. I think he injected his ass with something. Oh, that boy hallucinating. What the hell? Ain't no way this man just grabbed mayonnaise and an apple. Boy, what the hell? Oh, nah. What do you... Drinking milk straight is crazy. No, not you. Oh, no. That's gross. Oh, that's nasty. Oh, that's nasty. Oh, that's gross. That is gross. Hold on, chat. I'm trying to fix it.
I'll come back to this message later, but first, we have to talk about the mysterious origins of the Flying Dutchman. The Flying Dutchman is the legendary ghost pirate that haunts Bikini Bottom.
In a pirate ship, the Flying Dutchman descends on Bikini Bottom.
The first time we hear about the Flying Dutchman is in the episode Squidward the Unfriendly Ghost, when SpongeBob finds a comic book about his origins.
It's the origin of the Flying Dutchman. It says when he died, they used his body as a window display. Now he haunts the 7 seas because he was never put to rest.
Now, I've always been a little skeptical about this origin, not just because it's claiming they put an actual human corpse up as display in a kid's store, but because the Flying Dutchman himself contradicts it.
It's a little torn. Of course, it was the shirt I was buried in.
He was never put to rest.
If he was buried, then this origin can't be true.
Right.
So, who is the Flying Dutchman actually? Well, when I rewatched all the episodes with the Flying Dutchman, I kept noticing that he seems to have some kind of fixation with SpongeBob in particular. In the episode Shanghai, he drops his anchor on SpongeBob's home, which leads to him having to briefly join the Dutchman's crew. Then, in Born Again Krabs, he's about to take Mr. Krabs' soul, but then immediately changes his mind when SpongeBob offers his soul instead. And even in the Camp Coral prequel show, he haunts SpongeBob as a kid. But strangest of all, in Ghost Host, the Dutchman's ship gets destroyed, and out of all the places in Bikini Bottom he could stay, he decides to stay with SpongeBob.
My location where I'll be staying? Business or residence? Residence.
And look at the way he mischievously smiles when he sees SpongeBob. It feels like this is personal for him, but why? The episode Ghost Host is actually the first time we get a bit more depth of the Flying Dutchman's character. At first, he spends all of his time torturing SpongeBob, but eventually, he just wants to stay and hang out with him.
Maybe stay with a friend for a while.
Oh, so what if, hear me out. What if he's like a disgruntled, like he's a disgruntled fan, you know what I'm saying? He was a fan. He died. He was like, I never got to meet him. I'ma haunt him. Boom. Haunt him, right? Wants to be mean. But he still secretly has this fan love for SpongeBob. So like once he starts actually hanging out, he remembers, boom, this was actually, you know, saying one of the main people, one of the main squadiddles, you know what I'm saying, that I wanted to chill with. So like every time he meets him, he's angry. But he grows on him every time. Can I get a big brain Simba? Can I get that? Can I get that in the comment section? Cause I just figured out the whole theory. I just figured it out. I just figured out the whole theory. I don't even need to watch the rest. I'm gonna watch the rest because this is a banger. But I done figured it out. Big Brain Simba. Timestamp this. Big Brain Simba at 15:22.
Just for a little while longer.
Even though his ship's already been repaired for 3 months.
Actually, I have a confession, SpongeBob. My ship's been done for 3 months now.
It feels like the Dutchman has some kind of vendetta against SpongeBob specifically, but also, deep down, he's just lonely and wants to be SpongeBob's friend.
Yup,
and does that remind you of anyone?
Just
someone who's desperate to be SpongeBob's friend, but also has a deep resentment towards him.
Hey, listen.
But there's like a bunch of reasons why the Flying Dutchman couldn't be the ghost of Patchy the Pirate. I mean, for starters, they look totally different, right? Different shirt, different hat, and most importantly, the Dutchman doesn't have the iconic hook and eye patch that Patchy does.
Yeah.
This is the point where I was about to give up and scrap this theory, but then I decided to rewatch the Season 1 episode, Arg, where SpongeBob plays a board game called The Flying Dutchman's Treasure that's actually based on the Flying Dutchman's real map.
The Flying Dutchman's Treasure Hunt.
Based on a real treasure map.
And then I noticed something. One of the game cards actually shows a picture of the Flying Dutchman. I mean, look, he clearly has the same nose and face as him, but this looks like a picture of when he was still alive and had a darker black beard. But the hat he's wearing is not the usual Flying Dutchman hat. It is the exact same hat Patchy the Pirate wears. Okay, but he still doesn't have the eye patch and the hook hand, right? Well, yeah, but here's the thing. Neither does Patchy. Patchy's hook is always switching hands, and he constantly takes off his eye patch, because Patchy isn't a real pirate. He's just pretending to be one.
The great thing about Patchy is that he lives in Encino, California. But he's a pirate. But the only thing that makes him a pirate is that he says he's one and dresses like one.
Okay, fine, but the shirt is still very different. You know, the Dutchman's is all open and it's got those stripy things. Patchy's is more fancy with the big white puffy collar and cuffs. Well, in the Curse of Bikini Bottom, we see the Flying Dutchman's closet and he pulls out the exact same shirt that Patchy wears. Same.
Oh shit! Yo, it's over. It's proven. That is crazy. What the fuck? I fucking love these, bro, cause like, what the fuck?
Fancy puffy collar, same cuffs. Fine, okay? Maybe Patchy the Pirate and the Dutchman look the same, but that doesn't mean they're the same person. It's time we address the elephant in the room. The Flying Dutchman can't be Patchy's ghost because Patchy is alive at the same time we see the Flying Dutchman.
Okay.
Like, in order for this theory to be true, Patchy would have to die and then the Dutchman's ghost would show up. But they're simultaneously existing at the same time.
Yeah.
Patchy even shows up during an episode all about the Flying Dutchman, and he even calls it his favorite episode.
We're gonna see me favorite show, Shanghai. Ta-da!
It is physically impossible for Patchy and the Dutchman to be the same person. Or is it? Things are about to get stranger.
Not in the Stranger Things.
Thank you once again for supporting us at Happy Meat Farms. Together, we're building a better future.
Cut! Let's move on.
Hey Victoria, I tried to work things out with the muse like you said, and then I'm pretty sure it like bit me or something, and now I'm like feeling really weird and craving raw meat. Could you just call me back please? I'm starting to freak out a little bit.
Wait, so she wait. So she directs for Happy Meat Farms, right? So what job did the muse give her?
Victoria! Where have you been? I've been trying to call you all day.
Hey, sorry, I'm at work.
Okay, so, like, the muse, like, bit me, I think, and now I'm, like, craving raw meat, and...
Yeah, I know, I got your messages. Just calm down. This is a good thing.
How is this a good thing?
It means it's almost over. Okay. Here's what I need you to do.
I'm confused. It's about time. Yo.
When I rewatched all the episodes with the Flying Dutchman, I noticed something strange. In the Season 7 episode, The Curse of Bikini Bottom, the Dutchman gets a girlfriend, but starts to freak out when she wants to get married.
She wants to marry me! I ain't the marrying type.
But the Dutchman not being the marrying type isn't entirely true. Back in Season 3 during Ghost Host, we see that the Dutchman was once married.
Is that a wedding ring?
Oh, this holds nothing.
Alright, but so what? You know, this just seems like a small continuity error between seasons, no surprise for SpongeBob. But in the Season 6 special, SpongeBob vs. the Big One, there's an even stranger moment like this. The Flying Dutchman bumps into Mr. Krabs and says this to him.
Ah! He's a Flying Dutchman! Ah! It's some guy I've never seen before!
He says he's never met Mr. Krabs before, but there are 2 whole episodes from previous seasons dedicated to the Dutchman trying to steal Mr. Krabs' soul for being too greedy. They're even on a first-name basis.
Eugene Krabs! It's some guy I've never seen before!
Alright, so another weird inconsistency with the Dutchman, but I'm still not convinced that it's not just lazy writing. But back in The Curse of Bikini Bottom, there's a moment that cannot be written off as another continuity error.
Nah,
SpongeBob and
without a
Patrick
beard is
accidentally
crazy.
shave off the Dutchman's beard, and the Dutchman claims the beard won't grow back for another 1,000 years.
Your beard will just grow back.
You know nothing of my facial hair! It'll take 1,000 years for my beard to grow back!
But by the end of the episode, we cut to several months later, and his beard is back.
The curse will wear off when my beard grows back.
Several months later.
She wants to marry me!
It's not like this is just some plot point they forgot about between episodes. This several months later is in the same episode where the Dutchman says the beard takes 1,000 years to grow back.
It'll take 1,000 years for my beard to grow back!
Several months later.
Why the fuck would they include this line if they were just gonna contradict it a few minutes later in the same goddamn episode? They even blatantly mention that it's several months later twice, as if they're trying to make you realize how inconsistent it is.
Several months later.
Well, here we are several months later.
So, what does any of this mean? Why are the writers of SpongeBob intentionally making the Flying Dutchman as inconsistent as possible? Well, the only way that this makes sense to me is if we're seeing the Flying Dutchman non-chronologically. And by that I mean, the Flying Dutchman is time traveling. Just bear with me for a second. For SpongeBob, only
ghosts.
several months have passed, but for the Dutchman, it actually was 1,000 years later. The Dutchman didn't recognize Mr. Krabs in Season 6 because for him, this is the first time they've met. And from his perspective, the episodes where he tries to take Mr. Krabs' soul haven't happened yet. The Dutchman's not the marrying type in Season 7, but he probably actually does end up getting married to the giant monster, and that's why we see him with a ring in Season 4, because the past is the future for the Flying Dutchman.
Wait,
whoa,
what?
whoa. Okay, let's
Wait.
calm down for a second there, Alex. This time travel idea does fix a lot of problems with the Dutchman's continuity, but claiming a character has time travel powers is a major leap. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Flying Dutchman is a very powerful ghost. He can teleport, he can shapeshift, he can grant wishes, but we've never seen him manipulate time.
You get 3 wishes.
Wishes? I wish we had known that earlier.
Okay, you got 2 wishes left.
Huh. Okay, so the Dutchman's time traveling. And you know what this means? The Flying Dutchman could absolutely be the ghost of Patchy the Pirate, and I'm gonna prove it.
Wait the fuck a minute, bro. Holy. That is honest. That is actually insane. Wait, what did I say? Because everything is a clue. Everything is a clue with Alex Bale. Everything is. They wouldn't show that screen if it wasn't a clue. Everything is a clue with Alex Bale. Help make my first feature film. Why would it show the link? Why would it show the link? Why would it show the link? This is something. This is something. This is something that's going to play on into the next one. I just know it is. I just know it. I feel it in my soul, in my brain.
Oh, hey, Alex. What's up?
Hey, Wes. Sorry for just barging in on you like this. I was actually wondering maybe if you want to watch my new SpongeBob theory, maybe give me some feedback.
Dude, yeah, absolutely. I love those videos. Come on in, man.
How's the film thing going?
Oh, you know, funding's a nightmare.
Sure you figured it out. So just give it a watch. Tell me what you think. And is it cool if I use your bathroom?
Yeah, no problem. It's just right through there. So
cool. I guess enjoy.
No, why you got like, what's the name? Black under the eyes. What the hell? Oh, he's about to give him the muse. He's about to pass it on. No, that's crazy. The death of Patchy the Pirate. Let's get it. Let's get it.
So, if Patchy the Pirate eventually becomes the Flying Dutchman, that means at some point in the future, Patchy is going to die. Except, here's the thing. I think Patchy is already dead in present day, and we have already seen his death on screen. Remember that Christmas special I told you would be important later on? It's the season 13 episode SpongeBob's Road to Christmas, and as of recording this, it's the latest episode in the SpongeBob timeline. SpongeBob does meet Patchy in this episode, but for some reason he's fully animated instead of using the usual live-action style.
Ahoy, SpongeBob and Patrick! It's me, Patchy the Pirate!
It honestly feels kind of creepy for some reason, especially since the creators themselves said that Patchy could never meet SpongeBob.
Well, they can never meet, right?
Well, yeah, they can never meet.
Is it possible that this isn't the real Patchy? Well, the last time we saw live-action Patchy was in SpongeBob's Big Birthday Blowout, and that episode ended with him being fired out of a cannon and crashing into an island. Immediately after that, Patchy's severed head shows up and meets SpongeBob. But I already explained how this is clearly just another hallucination, and he's probably just gonna wake up on the island disappointed that he didn't actually meet SpongeBob like every other time. But what if this is something more than just a simple dream that he can wake up from? I mean, the last shot we saw of the real Patchy was him and Potty face down in the sand, struggling to get out. What if they didn't? And this is what Patchy is hallucinating as he dies. During this hallucination, he begins singing the show's theme song with SpongeBob to wrap up the episode.
Oh, who's having a birthday under the sea?
But as they're singing, we briefly cut to this horrifying shot of Patchy's body with Potty's head lying on the island, violently convulsing in pain. It happened so quick that I didn't even process it the first time. But goddamn, that is some terrifying imagery for a kid's show. Why the fuck did they show this? Is this some kind of PG symbolic way to show Patchy and Potty suffocating to death in the sand?
What the
Holy
hell?
shit! Okay, so let's say Patchy and Potty, the hosts of the SpongeBob SquarePants television show, are dead. What happens now? Well, the show must go on. The SpongeBob SquarePants television show has to continue without him, but they need a new host to replace Patchy. Except, are they really gonna tell their young audience that their beloved Patchy the Pirate and Potty the Parrot are dead? No, they're gonna replace them with animated actors.
And they're using actors.
Hey, that's showbiz for you. But what happened to the real Patchy after he died? Well, he became a ghost and could finally meet his idol SpongeBob, except when he goes to Bikini Bottom, what would he see? SpongeBob and all of his friends partying without him. Patchy dedicated his entire life to SpongeBob. He even died for him, and SpongeBob never even knew Patchy existed. And that resentment that's been building up inside of Patchy for all of these years finally explodes. And this is how Patchy the Pirate becomes the Flying Dutchman. Patchy is done pretending to be a pirate and dressing up in his fake costumes. He
Hold
gets a
on.
new look, a new identity, and now he can finally live out the fantasy of being a real pirate. Remember that board game that they said was based on a real map from the Flying Dutchman?
Based on a real treasure map.
We never really did see the map that it was based on, or did we? Remember when Patchy was looking for the Lost SpongeBob episode? He used this map to find it. Now, at first I thought these two maps didn't look all that similar, but the more I looked at it, the more my mind was blown. Same red X in the middle, you got the compass, the palm trees, a turtle, a fish, but most importantly, they both have the forked tree.
Half a league to the forked tree. Look for the deacon's goose through the fork in the old tree.
That is a very specific detail. You would not just see that on any random map. The Flying Dutchman based his map off of the one from his past. So, he's become the Flying Dutchman now, and his main target for haunting is, of course, the one who
SpongeBob.
ignored him his entire life, SpongeBob
Wow.
SquarePants. But how did Patchy become such a powerful ghost who can even manipulate time itself? Well, there's actually an episode in season 12 called The Ghost of Plankton that gives us a pretty clear understanding of how ghost powers work. It basically just takes time and effort to grow your powers. Patchy's already given SpongeBob 20 years of dedication, might as well go a little further with it as the Dutchman. Patchy travels back in time to visit all of his favorite, most cherished SpongeBob episodes, including his favorite episode, Shanghai.
We're gonna see me favorite show, Shanghai.
Except now, he's not just watching the episode. He's the one in control, and he's gonna make SpongeBob pay for everything he's done. And he's gonna make him pay over and over and over again. But then, we get to the episode Ghost Host. Patchy initially moves in with SpongeBob to torture him, but as much as he tries to deny it, deep down, he's still that devoted fanboy who just wants SpongeBob to be his friend. As much as he wants to pretend to be the Dutchman, deep down, Patchy is still here. And that is why, if you go to the Krusty Krab after closing, and you go out the back to the dumpster, you can still read the words,
Patchy was
here. Yes,
Wow.
he certainly was. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the time-traveling ghost pirate theory. Thank you very much. Oh shit, what about Potty? He died with Patchy too, right? What the hell happened to him?
Yeah.
I can figure this out. Just give me a second. Let me just quickly rewatch every single episode of SpongeBob. Gotta watch the spin-offs too. Okay, let me see. The motherfucker ate him!
I wonder what parrot tastes like.
That is the time-traveling ghost pirate theory, baby! I am done! Woo! See ya! Thank you again so much for watching.
Yo,
This was
nah,
an
that is
especially tough one to
crazy.
figure out, but I think it all came together in the end. If you haven't already, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications. I have been your host, the SpongeBob Guy, and I will see you next time.
Hey, Alex. I finished the theory. Pretty good stuff, man. You doing okay in there?
What the hell?
Alex? Alex? Alex?
Oh. Hi, Wesley.
What are you doing down here?
Sorry. I must have got lost.
That's okay. I finished the video.
What'd you think?
It was good. Hey, is everything okay?
Is everything okay? Why wouldn't
the hell?
everything be okay?
I mean, come on, dude. You're acting weird.
You know, you're right. I have been feeling weird lately. Wesley, I have a confession to make. I didn't come here to show you a video.
Well, why are you here?
To help you.
Oh, you.
I think he gave him the muse. I think he gave him the muse. He gave him the muse. He gave that boy the muse.
Hey, sorry about all of that. I think I'm coming down with something.
It's alright, man. I'll clean it up. But you should probably go, though.
Yeah, I'll go. Sorry again.
Gave that man the muse.
How you feeling?
Like my stomach just got pumped.
You'll feel better soon.
I don't know how to feel about what I did.
I get it, but you did the right thing. And soon you won't have to worry about your muse at all.
What the fuck? I told you.
I like the haircut, by the way.
Thanks. Yeah. Long hair just didn't really feel like me.
Thanks again for, talking me through all this. Glad I don't have to deal with it on my own anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I get how weird it all is.
See you. You must have given someone else a muse too, right? Did you? Give me my muse?
Oh shit.
You needed help.
Oh
It worked,
shit.
didn't it?
I told you. That's crazy.
Good night, Victoria.
That's crazy. Wait, what? That is crazy. She didn't get rid of hers. She didn't get rid of hers. She didn't. Wow. She thought it was about to go away. It ain't. Oh no, he thinks it's finna go. Oh my god, that nigga is just spreading like wildfire. Nah, crazy theory though. Crazy theory though. And I'm liking this little backstory he's putting on to the theories to let us know, you know what I'm saying, what's happening and things like that. Y'all let me know what y'all think of the theory. It honestly, it makes sense to me. There's a couple of like the whole timeline of the dying going back in time kind of thing. I get it, but it's still a little hazy to me, but everything else is spot on pretty much for me. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about the theory. Make sure you're liking the video, subscribing, notifications. I'm up out of here. Y'all have yourselves a good one, man. Peace.